A very good evening to all my dear students. So welcome to today's session for chapter number 10, which is the last session for chapter number 10 for paper number 6. Also, this is my last session with all of you for this batch, for batch number 7. Okay? So I can see that Malay, Kiran, Sudhanshu, Rajiv, Darshan, Kiran, Navneetan. These students have already joined. Right? So students, today we have a lot of topic to cover, and in the last session I have asked you to go through the topic of joint audit. I hope you all have gone through this topic from the module. I've asked you to read this topic. Okay? So first of all, tell me whether you have done so or not. Further, today we'll be doing CARO 2020. We'll be completing the clauses, 21 clauses. We have done only 3 clauses so far. Then we have to discuss SC 299, that is joint audit of financial statement, SC 600, that is using the work of other auditor. Then there is cost audit, section 148 in detail, and there is one penalty provisions which is under section 147. Apart from these topics, we have covered the entire chapter and we haven't left any topic in between. Okay? So Komal, Sayed, Subham, Manshu, Manisha, Hira, these students have also joined. Only one has replied that ma'am, yes, read, that is Namanshu. Others also please reply. And students, further please also tell me as to whether you have started preparing backup as C. Rajesh Sachdeva sir has advised you, with respect to the definition parts, with respect to the questions. Hana, I have asked you to prepare certain questions from this chapter relating to, I think it was, yes, section 143, subsection 1 ka inquiry wala part, then applicability of CARO. Remember? So tell me whether you have done. So Kiran is saying, ma'am, done the homework and sir's homework also. Chalo, that's good. That's really very good. Keep on preparing the backup. Keep on implementing the tips that sir is sharing with you, and he'll be sharing with you in the further sessions to come. Okay? So today I'll speed up. Like my speed will be a little fast because a number of topics are to be discussed. So I want that I should brief you all the topics so that after the discussion that we will be having today, when you go through the module, everything is going to be clear to you. Okay? So kuch discussion to at least kare, even if it won't be possible to cover all the topics, Hana, in entirety, I'll touch upon each and every topic. Okay? And also students, I have uploaded the questions, the descriptive type MCQs, including the answers. So please download them and practice them. Okay? So Rajiv Kumar Singh is saying, yes, ma'am, done the homework and even learned the definition and questions. That really very appreciable. And students start learning, start implementing those tips. Hana? Kiran is also saying done the homework. Chalo, that's good. That's good. Diksha is also saying. So let us now restart with CARO 2020 from where we left. So it is what companies auditors report order 2020, and I'm telling you that I'll increase my speed today because I want to touch upon all the topics that are left. Okay? In CARO 2020, we have had a good discussion last time as to what is it all about, what is contained. Hana? Then paragraph number 4 mein kya mention hai. The clauses that are left are very easy. Hana? So quickly we'll cover up all those clauses. Okay? So power kahan pe hai central government ka? Section 143 subsection 11 mein. Huh? And CARO 2020 you are reading. There are 4 paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is with respect to applicability. Paragraph 2 is with respect to auditors report to contain certain matters specified in paragraph number 3 and 4, right? And 3 contains all those 21 clauses. Paragraph 4 says that in case of any unfavorable or qualified answer, the reasoning is to be given. Okay? Then applicability, we have seen that it applies to every company, including foreign company, except for banking company, insurance company, Section 8 company, one-person company, small company, private limited company, if it is not being a subsidiary or holding of a public company, and where the paid up share capital and reserves is not exceeding 1 CR as at the balance sheet date, and total borrowings from banks, financial institution is not more than 1 CR at any point of time during the financial year, and total revenue in terms of Schedule 3 is not exceeding 10 CR during the financial year. Okay. Now, this we have seen. And we have seen you may get MCQ that whether CARO reporting 2020 is applicable to consolidated financial statement. So if it is correct, incorrect, so you will mention it is not applicable except to clause 21 of paragraph number 3. Okay? So this is important from the point of view of your MCQ or true false. Again, what is that 21st clause? We will have a look today. Okay? Then we have seen that the first clause related to property, plant and equipment and intangible assets, that the auditor has to report as to whether the proper records with respect to quantity, situation of PP and proper records with respect to full particulars of intangible assets have been maintained. Secondly, whether the PP is physically verified by the management at reasonable intervals, and in case of any material discrepancy, whether the same has been properly dealt in the books of accounts. Third, whether the title deeds of immovable property other than those held on lease, which are not held in the name of the company, disclosed in the financial statement, if not, then a tabular format details are to be given. Whether the company has revalued PP or intangible assets, and it should be through what? Registered value. Specify the change if it is more than equal to 10% change in aggregate net carrying value of each class of PP intangible assets, and if any proceedings are initiated or pending against the company for holding any benami property, whether the same has been disclosed in financial statements. Clear? With respect to inventory, the first point relates to what? This is the second clause. So physical verification has been done by management at reasonable intervals. The management coverage and procedure, whether it is adequate, and in case of discrepancy more than equal to 10% in aggregate for each class of inventory noticed, if yes, whether properly dealt in the books of accounts. Further, if during any point time of the year, company has been given us, has been sanctioned a working capital limit, which is more than equal to 50 CR in aggregate from bank or financial institution, security of current assets, then whether quarterly returns filed with banks, financial institution, these are in agreement with what? Books of accounts, and if not, the details are to be given. Now, I told you that clause number 3 is a very wide clause because it says that if any of the investment guarantee, security, loans, advances in the nature of loans, whether secured or unsecured, are given by the company to any company, firm, LLP or any other party. So everything is covered here. Okay? Then if yes, then 6 details are to be given. That is, just a minute. Okay. That is, if it is given to subsidiary, joint venture or associate, then the aggregate amount during the year and as on the balance sheet date. In case it is given to other company, then same details. Terms and conditions are not prejudicial, to the company's interest. Then as I told you, linkage create करो. तो अब यहाँ से क्या linkage आता है? Term से आपको principal and interest. ठीक है? Whether these are regular नहीं है, overdue है more than 90 days, reasonable steps हुए हैं नहीं. If any of the loan has fallen due during the year, then whether the same has been renewed, extended, or fresh loan has been given to the same party to settle the existing claims. Then what is the aggregate amount of such renewed, extended, or fresh loan plus the aggregate to the percentage of the aggregate amount to the total loan. And if any loans and advances in the nature of loan are repayable on demand, that is without specifying the terms, then aggregate amount and percentage to the total loan. Further, aggregate amount of loans given to promoters and related parties. Okay. Now the fourth clause, which is the new point that we are starting today. So very simple it is. It basically says that, see the language that is used in CARO 2020 now, it is simply that, so auditor has to report that in respect of loans, investments, guarantees, securities, whether provisions of section 185 and 186 have been complied with or not, and if not, provide the details. Now, what are section 185 and 186? So for the purpose of this chapter as such, we are not going into detail, but this is basically relating to what? Section 185 is when the loans are given to directors, right? And section 186 is when the loans and investments are made by the company. Okay? So basically, section 185 contains provisions that when the loans are given to directors or any of the, let's say, firm or relative of the director, Hana, then certain members shareholders resolution is required, and other conditions are also mentioned in that section. So whether the same has been complied with. Same way, when any loan and investment has been made by the company, section 186 is applicable. So there are various provisions like the board approval will be required. If it exceeds certain limit, then special resolution. Approval of public financial institutions are also required, Hannah. So various provisions like that. So it simply requires the auditor to mention as to whether such provisions have been complied with or not. Okay? So basically, this is a continuation of third point itself. Okay? Now, fifth clause, it basically says that if any deposits have been taken from public or deemed deposits, so whenever we take, the company takes public deposits, so RBI directives need to be followed, and the relevant section of the Companies Act are what? Section 73 to section 76 of the Companies Act. Okay. So whether these have been followed, see, complied or not. If not, then what is the nature of contravention? Simple. If any order of Company Law Board, National Company Law Tribunal, RBI, any other court or tribunal is there with respect to such deposits, whether the same is complied or not. Okay. So what is mentioned? Let us have a look at the module. In respect of deposits accepted by the company or amounts which are deemed to be deposit, whether directives issued by RBI and the provisions of section 73 to 76, other relevant provisions and rule have been complied with or not. If not, then the nature of contravention. Further, if any order has been passed by CLB, Company Law Board, National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT, or RBI, Reserve Bank of India, or any other court or tribunal, whether the same has been complied with or not. Simple, hai na? Sixth clause simply requires the auditor to report whether the cost records. So let us have a look at whether maintenance of cost records as specified by central government under section 141 subsection 1 of the Companies Act, and whether such accounts and records have been so made and maintained. Students, today when we'll be doing section 148 with respect to cost audit and cost records, you will see that there are certain specified class of companies which are prescribed by central government, right, who are required to maintain cost records, and out of that certain companies are required to get the cost audit done. So here it is not talking about cost audit. This clause number 6, simply requires the auditor to report as to whether cost records have been specified with respect to this company or not, and if yes, then whether such accounts and records have been maintained by the company or not. Simple hai, theek hai. Clause number 7. So this is talking about what? Statutory dues. So see, statutory dues can be relating to your government payments like your tax authorities and your employees payments like your PF payable, ESI payable, okay? Statutory dues, any of the dues which is payable under a statute, under a law, Hana? So clause 7 is divided into two parts. So here the auditor is required to give a reporting with respect to undisputed statutory dues and disputed. Disputed is what? Jahan par litigation is going on. Let's say the company is saying that we need to pay, let's say, income tax amount of 1 CR. But the income tax authorities are saying, no, you need to pay 1.5 CR. So these are what? Disputed litigation chal raha hai kuch. So there the auditor needs to mention what is the amount involved and what is the forum where the same is pending. For example, it is pending before, let's say, ITAT, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. So the forum will be mentioned and what is the amount involved. In case of undisputed, देखो कोई dispute नहीं है ना? Then why such dues are still, such payments are still dues? Why such payment has not been made? Because dispute तो कोई है नहीं. तो यहाँ पर क्या लिखना है? Whether the company is regular in depositing such undisputed, मतलब वहां कोई litigation है ही नहीं, कंपनी भी कह रही है 1 CR पे करना है, इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटी भी कह रही है 1 CR पे करना है. So if not, if the company is not regular, then extent of arrears outstanding as on the last date of financial year for a period which is more than 6 months from the date when they become payable. So in simple language, it basically says that agar undisputed hai, matlab koi dispute to hai nahi, so auditor will have to see whether the company is regular or not in paying such dues. And if the company is not regular, then as on the last date of the financial year, let's say 31st March 2022, what are the dues which have been outstanding for more than 6 months? देखो जो 30th सितंबर से पहले ड्यूज आउटस्टैंडिंग हुए होंगे ना, उनको 6 मंथ से ज्यादा टाइम हो जाएगा ना 31st मार्च को. सो बेसिकली ऑल दोज ड्यूज which have become payable before 30th September. Just a minute, है ना? So extent of arrears outstanding as on the last date of financial year for a period which is more than 6 months from the date when they become due. ठीक है? So Yashika is saying, ma'am, clause number 5 bata do. Dekho 5, I'm repeating clause number 5 again. So if the company has taken any public deposits, तो वहां पर आपको RBI के directives, section 73, section 72, section 76, the company needs to comply. So first of all, whether the same have been complied with, and if not, contravention, मतलब अगर आपने comply नहीं किया तो क्या नहीं comply किया out of those sections or directives, ठीक है? Further, if the company law board, the National Company Law Tribunal, RBI, or any other court or tribunal has given any order to the company with respect to such deposits, whether the order has been complied with or not. ठीक है, Yashika, is it clear? ठीक है. So 6 clause में simply क्या बताना है? Cost records CG ने prescribe किए हैं इस company के लिए, and yes, if yes, then whether maintained. Statutory dues को हमने 2 parts में divide किया, disputed and undisputed. Clear? फोरम स्वाति, फोरम इट बेसिकली आई गेव यू एग्जांपल ना कि कहां पर डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है. इनकम टैक्स एपिलेट अथॉरिटी पे चल रहा है, हाई कोर्ट में चल रहा है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चल रहा है. फोरम कहां पर आपका डिस्प्यूट पेंडिंग है, लिटिगेशन पेंडिंग है. ठीक है स्वाति, इज इट क्लियर? ठीक है. नाउ 8th clause, which is the same as we have done as one of the disclosure requirements in chapter number 9. So whether the auditor now here under clause number 8 of CARO 2020, auditor is going to report as to whether any transaction which was not recorded in the books of accounts have now been surrendered or disclosed under the Income Tax Act, and if so, whether the same has been properly recorded in the books of accounts. कि Income Tax Act के अंदर कोई income transaction which was not recorded in books of accounts now has been surrendered or disclosed, right? So whether the same has been properly dealt in with the books of accounts. कि इनकम टैक्स में तो डिस्क्लोज हो गई है, बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में भी कंसीडर हुआ है या नहीं. ये सेम पॉइंट है ना जो हमने वहां मैनेजमेंट को भी बोला था कि आपको शेड्यूल 3 के अंदर डिस्क्लोजर देना है. ठीक है. पॉइंट नंबर 9. So as we have done point number 3, that was relating to what? Investments that the company has made. है ना, कंपनी ने पैसा दिया है. ठीक है. पॉइंट नंबर 9 में क्या है? कंपनी ने पैसा लिया है, लोन टेकन बाय द कंपनी. ठीक है. सो वी आर ऑन क्लॉज नंबर 9. अगेन 6 पॉइंट्स आर देयर. सो वेरी सिंपल, बहुत लॉजिकल है. देखो, इफ द कंपनी हैज टेकन द लोन, ठीक है. सो फर्स्ट इज वेदर देयर इज एनी डिफॉल्ट इन रीपेमेंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट और लोन. And if yes, what is the period and amount of default? It is to be given in a format which is this. So nature of borrowing including debt instruments, name of the lender, amount not paid on due date, the interest and the principal का जो भी total amount है, whether it is principal or interest, number of days, remarks if any. Simple. ठीक है. तो 9th point is with respect to the loan taken by the company. So loan से related क्या आता है? पहले तो repayment of what? Loan and principal and the interest amount. So if there is any default, then this tabular format is to be given. ठीक है. Now again, willful defaulter we have done as an additional regulatory information ना, तो वहां पर management को, company को disclose करना था. यहाँ पर auditor is required to give an additional reporting as to whether the company has been declared as a willful defaulter by any bank, financial institution or other. ठीक है. Simple है. Third, whether the term loans, see, you will see that wherever the company has taken any money from, लेट्स से अभी फर्दर विल बी डूइंग इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफर का पॉइंट भी, यहाँ पर लोन्स की बात कर रहे हैं हम. You will see that one of the main point is that the purpose for which it has been taken, whether the same has been used for that purpose or not. ठीक है. So if whether the term loans are utilized for the purpose for which they have been obtained, if no, then what is the amount and purpose for which it has been used. ठीक है. And यहीं से fourth point also comes, that is whether any short-term loan has been utilized for long-term purpose. If yes, then the nature and amount. See, if any short-term loan is there, let's say 1 year, के लिए any loan was taken, and you have utilized it for a project which will get completed in 5 years. अब देखो 1 year के बाद तो you need to repay this loan because short-term loan था. However, इस project से income कब generate होगी? After 5 years. So यहाँ पर पेमेंट कहाँ से करोगे आप? Because the income has not yet started generating ना, because long term में आपने लगा दिया. So that is why there is a separate point, है ना? So as sir has asked you, try to create linkages. पहला point क्या था? लोन से क्या आता है? डिफॉल्ट, है ना? So लोन प्रिंसिपल एंड इंटरेस्ट का डिफॉल्ट तो नहीं है, बिल्कुल डिफॉल्ट तो डिक्लेयर नहीं हुआ. जिस पर्पस के लिए लिया था उसी के लिए यूज किया. शॉर्ट टर्म को लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए तो यूज नहीं कर दिया. ठीक है. फर्दर, these two points are kind of related, fifth and sixth. It says that whether the company has taken any funds from any person to meet the obligation of subsidiary, joint venture and association. तो कंपनी ने अपने लिए नहीं लिया है. फंड्स किसके लिए लिया है? सब्सिडरी, जॉइंट वेंचर या एसोसिएट के लिए. इफ यस, व्हाट इज द डिटेल, नेचर एंड द अमाउंट. सिंपल. And the sixth clause says, if any loan has been raised on pledge of securities which are held in subsidiary, joint venture, associate, if yes, what are the details? And in case of default in repayment, the auditor needs to report that. So what is the fifth point? It basically says, अगर company ने कोई पैसा लिया है from any person to meet the obligation of its subsidiary, joint venture, associate, then details and nature and amount. And sixth point says that whether the raised loan, whether the company has raised loan on pledge of any securities held in subsidiary, joint venture, associate, and if yes, what are the details? And if in case of any default in repayment, the auditor needs to report that. So this was about clause number 9, which again had what? 6 points, right? And this is with respect to loan taken by the company. Okay. Now the 10th point is what? 10th clause is with respect to when the money has been raised by initial public offer or further public offer, IPO or FPO. And B point says preferential allotment or private placement. तो यहाँ पर भी एक point तो क्या आ जाएगा your? If whether the same has been applied for the purpose for which it has been taken. ठीक है? ठीक है? And if not, the details and the delays and subsequent rectification, that is later on whether it was rectified, correct कर दिया था या नहीं. ठीक है? With respect to preferential allotment and private placement, right? So whether the requirement of the relevant sections of the Companies Act, जैसे private placement में आपका section 42 of the Companies Act लगता है, preferential allotment में section 62 of the Companies Act लगता है, like right issue, ESOP, है ना? So whether the company has complied with this, if not, then what are the non-compliance, and whether the purpose for which it has been taken, whether it is utilized for that, if not, what is the detail and the nature of non-compliance. Simple है ना, ये same ही lines पे चल रहा है. Clause number 11 is with respect to fraud, है ना? A fraud का reporting आपने chapter number 5 में already you have done. So let us do that point first here. So there are 3 points A, B, C with respect to clause number 11. So it basically says कि if there has been any reporting of fraud under section 143 subsection 12, central government को, तो central government को कब fraud के लिए reporting करते हैं? तो चलो, I'll make this session थोड़ा सा interactive, ज़्यादा नहीं करेंगे आज interaction. Why? Because a number of topics are to be covered. Tell me, chapter number 5 में आपने पढ़ा है central government को कब reporting करते हैं? What is that amount? That the fraud amount कितना होना चाहिए when central government को reporting जाती है? Quickly send me more replies. So Kiran is saying, please ma'am, take one revision session also. Yes, 1 CR. ठीक है. I guess क्या होता है? You should be confident ना now तो. 1 CR, ठीक है. So it says that if any of the reporting has been done under section 143 subsection 12 by filing AGT 4, so whether the same has been filed with central government or not. Simple है, ठीक है. Now this A point it's relate to, यहाँ पर तो क्या है, central government को reporting गया है and the amount is what, 1 CR or more, ठीक है. यहाँ A point में क्या, and here what was the language, that if the auditor has the reason to believe that any fraud has been or against the company has been committed, remember. So here the auditor has the reason to believe, है ना. और यहाँ पर A point में क्या है, if there is a fraud by the company or on the company which is noticed reported during the year, so it is not mentioned that notice reported by the auditor. So notice reported during the year, what is the nature and amount. So any fraud, be it less than 1 CR, more than 1 CR, and see more than 1 CR तो आपका यहाँ पे आ गया होगा, आपने CG को रिपोर्टिंग किया होगा. So fraud by the company or on the company noticed or reported during the year, what is the nature and amount, ठीक है. ठीक है. Swati, I got your point, ठीक है. And with respect to the C point, it basically says, see, what is whistleblowing mechanism or whistleblowing complaint. So when any of the person who is internal to the organization, he discloses any internal irregularities to, let's say, the management, Hana, or let's say to the board of directors, that this is something fishy going on in the company. So this is what whistleblowing mechanism, okay? Or whistleblowing complaints which are received by the company during the year. So auditor will consider, like auditor will mention whether he has considered all those complaints or not. Whistleblowing complaints, okay? So a person who is internal to the organization, or any person who discloses the internal irregularities that are taking place in the company. So let us read this point number 11 from the module. So there are 3 points in clause number 11, that is whether any fraud by the company or any fraud on the company has been noticed or reported during the year, and if yes, the nature and the amount involved. Whether any report, this is point B, under subsection 12, section 143 of the Companies Act have been filed by the auditors in form ADT 4 as prescribed in rule with the central government. Whether the auditor has considered the whistleblower mechanism if it is received during the year by the company. Okay? So 3 points relating to fraud. Now, point number 12, and you will see that point number 16 also. These are company specific points. That is, this is applicable in case of a Nidhi company, point number 12. And point number 16 is with respect to what? Your NBFC. Okay? So point number 12, it says that, see, what are Nidhi companies? So basically, these are the companies which are registered under section 406 of the Companies Act. And these are basically what? Chit fund companies, which normally these are registered in the form of the company to mobilize the saving of the members. So, jo bhi members will deposits from them. And then the member who is in need of money, he is provided with such funds. Okay? So kind of organized way of kitty parties. Okay? So there are 3 points. It basically says, see, the company has its own fund and it accepts the deposits from the members also. So the first point says that the ratio of net owned funds and deposits of the company should be what? 1:20. अगर कंपनी के पास 1 rupee है तो मैक्सिमम वो 20 rupees अपने मेंबर से ले सकते हैं. ठीक है. So whether the Nidhi company has complied with the net owned funds to deposits in the ratio 1:20 to meet out the liability. Simple. Second point says, see, the companies, these are required to have certain term deposits. So it basically says that whether the company is maintaining 10% unencumbered, that is free of any charge, as specified under Nidhi Rules 2014 to meet out its liability. So 10% of the term deposit should be unencumbered. That is, they should be free of any of charge. That is, they can be used freely in order to meet out any liability. Okay. And last, whether there has been any default in payment of interest on deposits or repayment thereof for the period, and if so, the details thereof. So this is applicable where, so let's say we are the statutory auditor of a company, which is what, let's say Renuka Sugars. Okay. So that if, or let's say XYZ Limited, if that company is not a Nidhi company, this point is not applicable. Okay. So not applicable will be mentioned here. It will be mentioned that this company is not a Nidhi company, so no reporting is required here. Okay. The 13th clause, it basically says this is with respect to your related party transactions. Okay. So I mentioned this is blue in order to specify that this is applicable only to Nidhi company. Then this is what related party transactions. So simple hai, related party transaction mein. So whether compliance with section 177, section 177 audit committee ka hai na. So audit committee's approval is required with respect to the related party transactions. Okay? And section 188. So whether the compliance with section 177 and 1 has been complied with respect to related party transaction, and disclosure as per the accounting standard has been made on. Simple. Now with respect to point number 14, there are two sub points. Clause number 14, two sub clauses, that is internal audit system. Okay, you have done about this in your chapter number 4 now. So whether the company has an internal audit system which is commensurate is what? Adequate with the size and nature of the business of the company, and whether the reports of internal auditors have been considered by the statutory auditor. So simply ये state करना है with respect to internal audit system. तो पहला क्या है? Adequate है या नहीं with respect to size and nature of business, and whether the reports of internal auditor को consider किया है नहीं किसने? Statutory auditor. ठीक है. Point number 15, it simply says that whether any non-cash transactions are there with the directors or persons connected with the directors, and if yes, then section 192 of the Companies Act, whether the section 192 has been complied with. So again here there are provisions like approval of members is required, है ना? So non-cash transaction, जहाँ let's say a barter system, जहाँ पर in order to understand, just try to understand it like this. For example, shares are given to the directors, or let's say the directors are giving some shares to the company. In return of that, they have been given some car. So no cash is involved, no non-cash transaction. So whether section 192 has been complied with. Okay. Now, 16 clause. This is with respect to your non-banking financial company, applicable only in case of NBFC. Okay. That is why I've mentioned it in blue. Okay. So there are 4 points. 2 points is relating to registration, and 2 points are relating to what? CIC. So first point says whether the company is required to obtain a registration to get registered under section 45 IA of the RBI Act. If yes, whether the same has been obtained or not. Okay, ki registration. See, section 188, Yashika, I told you that this is with respect to related party, Hana. That with respect to related party, approval is required. A list of related party transactions is given, Hana, and then it is mentioned कि board resolution चाहिए या ordinary resolution is also required. So section 188 उससे deal करता है, ठीक है? So whether provisions of section 177 and 188 with respect to related party and further disclosure of accounting standard has been done or not. ठीक है, Yashika, is it clear? So students, I am taking up your doubts side by side because iske baad CARO 2020, if it is finished, I'll start with SC 299. So I hope you are sending your queries side by side. So clause number 16. 2 points I told you with respect to registration, 2 points with respect to CIC. So first point basically says the auditor needs to report as to whether the registration is required by the company under 45A of the RBI Act, and if so, whether the same has been obtained, and whether the company has conducted any activity without valid certificate. ऐसे तो नहीं है कि without obtaining valid certificate of registration, the company has conducted any activity as a NBFC. Simple. See, there are various kinds of NBFC, various types of NBFC. So one of the type is what? Core investment company. Core investment company. So basically their core business is to make the investments, है ना? So if the company which is NBFC, वहीं पर ये reporting आएगी. So if the company is what? A CIC, core investment company. So whether the criteria that is required to be declared as CIC, whether the company has fulfilled that criteria, and if there is a group of companies, है ना? If that group is having more than one CIC, then indicate the numbers कि कितने CIC हैं in that group. ठीक है? So let us just have a look at this point. Swati, wait, your doubt will be clear. एक बार यहाँ से पढ़ते हैं. This was with respect to your 16th clause. Whether the company is required to be registered under clause 45 IA of the RBI Act, and if so, whether the same registration has been obtained. Whether the company has conducted any non-banking financial or housing finance activity without a valid certificate of registration. Clear? Whether the company is a core investment company as defined in the regulations made by RBI, and if so, whether it fulfills the criteria of CIC, वो criteria fulfill करता है या नहीं. And is in case the company is exempted or unregistered CIC, it continues to fulfill the criteria. अगर CIC है तो उसका भी criteria, या अगर exempted unregistered CIC है तो उसका भी criteria, whether the company fulfills it or not. Whether the group has more than one CIC as part of the group. कोई पूरा group है, holding subsidiary, joint venture सबका. ठीक है, यशिका, is it clear? Group of CIC means a group, है ना? Holding subsidiary, joint venture, associate. तो कितने CIC हैं? ठीक है? Indicate the number of CICs which are part of that group. ठीक है? Is it clear? Is it clear? Yashika and Swati. So these are separate NBFCs, Swati. So this reporting requirement will be there with respect to NBFC. ठीक है? Now with respect to 17th clause, it simply says that whether the company has any cash losses in this financial year and immediately preceding financial year, if you so what is the amount? Simple. Point number 18, this is with respect to clause number 18. It basically says that if during the year any statutory auditor has resigned during the year, okay, casual again say because of what? Resignation. So whether the auditor, अब वो जो auditor चला गया, who has resigned, उसकी place में some other auditor has come who is giving this report. So whether that auditor has taken into consideration the issues, objections, concerns of outgoing auditor. जो चला गया auditor resign कर लिया, उसके जो भी issues थे, whether the same has been considered by the auditor who is giving the report. Simple. ठीक है? Now this 19th clause. So students, it basically says that after performing various audit procedures like analysis of financial ratios, aging schedule, expected dates of realization of financial assets like your debtors, payment of financial liabilities like creditors, other information, auditor's knowledge of board of directors management ke plans. So whatever audit procedures auditor have performed, whether auditor is of the opinion that there is no material uncertainty as on the date of audit report. So basically this is with respect to what? SA 570 आपने पढ़ा हुआ है ना? वहां पे we talk about what? Material uncertainty. So basically क्या कहना चाहता है कि ऑडिटर को ये रिपोर्ट करना है कि एज ऑन द डेट ऑफ ऑडिट रिपोर्ट कोई मटेरियल अनसर्टेनिटी तो नहीं है, और उसके लिए ऑडिटर ने क्या क्या ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स किए होंगे, फाइनेंशियल रेशियोज देखे होंगे. देखो दीज आर व्हाट, अगर आप देखोगे फाइनेंशियल रेशियोज है ना, सो इंडिकेटर्स तो नहीं है विच में कास्ट सिग्निफिकेंट डाउट ऑन द एंटिटीज एबिलिटी टू कंटिन्यू एज अ गोइंग कंसर्न. सो मटेरियल अनसर्टेनिटी है क्या, उसके लिए मैनेजमेंट के क्या प्लान्स हैं, है ना. एक्सपेक्टेड डेट्स ऑफ रियलाइजेशन ऑफ फाइनेंशियल एसेट्स, कब पैसा आएगा, पेमेंट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल लायबिलिटी, कब पैसा देना है. ठीक है, yes Darshan, you are correct. ठीक है, so whether the company will be able to meet the current liability and the liability falling due within the next 12 months. ठीक है, simple. So auditor को ये mention करना है. So do one thing, just go through this point from the module. Just have a read to clause number 19. Just quick read, I'll just come. So students, I hope you all have read this point, clause number 19. So it basically says कि ये सब audit procedures करने के बाद whether the auditor, see, whether the auditor is of the opinion that no material uncertainty exists as on the date of audit report, that company is capable of meeting its liability existing as at the date of balance sheet, and when they fall due within a period of 1 year from the balance sheet date. Simple. Okay. The 20th clause, it is basically with respect to your CSR expenditure. Okay. With respect to CSR expenditure, that is your corporate social responsibility expenditure. Okay. So this clause is divided into two parts, like other than ongoing projects and ongoing projects. So CSR activity हमने सब पढ़ा है ना chapter number 9 में, that like spending for girls education or health, है ना, hospitals में कुछ investments आपने contribution दिया है. So अगर कोई ongoing project है, so whether the unspent amount, see, let's say during the year the company was required to spend 1 CR, है ना, ongoing project है, project चल रहा है, but अभी during the year only let's say 60 lakhs have been utilized. तो वो तो जैसे जैसे काम होएगा वैसे वैसे it will be utilized ना. So whether the unspent amount 40 lakhs has been transferred to a special account. Simple. Other than ongoing project, कि कोई suspended project है, अभी the work is not going on. So whether that unspent amount has been transferred to a fund as given under Schedule 7 within 6 months of expiry of the financial year. So this will be what earmarked fund के उसमें show करोगे ना आप इसको, है ना, within 6 months of the expiry of the financial year. Ongoing project है तो आपने एक account में डाल दिया, ठीक है, because the project is going on, जैसे जैसे use होगा वहां से withdraw होता रहेगा. But if in case of other than ongoing project है, suspended है, तो unspent amount जो है, whether this is transferred to a fund as required in under Schedule 7. ठीक है. So Yashika is saying, ma'am, clause number auditor's knowledge. So she is saying कि ma'am clause number 11, clause number 19 में auditor's knowledge of board of directors and management plan से क्या मतलब है? So it basically means, let's say, suppose there are what certain ban on the companies from where the company is importing the raw material. Now, auditor's knowledge of board of directors and management plans. Then auditor must have discussed it with the management or board of directors. Then what has auditor understood from those discussion? कि management के क्या plan है? Auditor's knowledge. Based on that knowledge, तो auditor is going to see ना whether the company will be capable of meeting its liability or not. ठीक है, Yashika, is it clear? Swati, ongoing now, that doubt I hope is clear. And with respect to 20th clause, ongoing project, ongoing मतलब जो चल रहा है, जो अभी suspend नहीं हुआ है, as in जिसमें working is going on. ठीक है? ठीक है, Yashika, Swati, is it clear? And now with respect to the last clause, clause number 21. So we have seen that as such, the CARO reporting is not applicable to consolidated financial statement except for clause 21. We have seen that now. So it basically says, see, suppose there are consolidated financial statement, तो यहाँ पर auditor is not required to give additional reporting under CARO. Clear? But जो consolidated financial statement है, वो बहुत सारे standalone financial statement से बने होंगे. There to CARO is applicable. So it basically says that the auditor of consolidated financial statement, though is not required to give any additional reporting with respect to CARO, with respect to this consolidated financial statement, but जो ये standalone financial, जो standalone आपका companies हैं, उनका जो CARO reporting होगा, the auditor of consolidated financial statement, he needs to go through the reports of all those companies. So companies included in consolidated financial statement, जो उनके CARO report में if there is any qualification or adverse remark by their respective auditor, ठीक है, then details of the company and paragraph number of the CARO report. तो इसको एक बारी समझते हैं. Clause number 20. Suppose A Limited is there, which is the holding company, or B, C and D are what? Subsidiary. ठीक है. A Limited का audit ABC and Associates ने किया है, and BCD का audit let's say EFG and Associates ने किया. अब यहाँ पर since these are what? Consolidated financial statement. So ABC and Associate has conducted the audit of consolidated financial statement of A Limited. So as such 21 clauses पर reporting नहीं देनी, right? But since A Limited के consolidated financial statements में B का standalone, C का standalone and D का standalone, and in fact A का standalone has been considered. So what the auditor ABC and Associates is required to do, he needs to go through the individual audit report of the respective auditor. EFG and Associate ने यहाँ पर तो CARO was applicable because ये तो standalone है. तो इनके standalone में if there is any adverse remark, the auditor of ABC and Associates, he needs to mention the paragraph number of the CARO report of EFG and Associates in his audit report. ठीक है? Is it clear? Is it clear? So देखो ना, standalone पर जब CARO लग गया, consolidated पर दोबारा से थोड़ी ना CARO लगाएंगे. But क्या बोला है? Consolidated financial statement में reference दे दो to the paragraph numbers of the standalone CARO report where there is any adverse remark. Clear? Is it clear? So Swati saying, ma'am, it is clear. Yashika is saying that point is not clear. See, Yashika, you have a doubt with respect to this word auditor's knowledge. So it basically says, देखो, expected date of realization of financial asset, financial liability, जो भी audit procedures auditor ने किए with respect to, in order to ascertain the material uncertainty. ठीक है? So auditor must have discussed the management plans या board के plans की board of directors बताओ आपके negative financial ratios आ रहे हैं, आपके negative current ratios आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, या आपकी expected date of realization of financial assets तो बाद में है, but आपको payment पहले करना है, आपके पास पैसा है नहीं, आप कहाँ से पैसा दोगे, ठीक है, या let's say there is any material uncertainty, auditor discussed the same with the directors of management, and then he obtained certain knowledge about their plans. So based on that, ठीक है, so is it clear now? Is it clear, Yashika? ठीक है, so and then what is paragraph number 4? It basically says that if answer to any of the question in paragraph number 3 is unfavorable or in qualification कि company ने ऐसा नहीं किया है या company ने इन्वेंट्री का वेरिफिकेशन नहीं किया है या पीपी का वेरिफिकेशन नहीं किया है, देन ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में क्या आएगा उसका बेसिस. सी अगर आप किसी को बोल रहे हैं दैट कंपनी हैज नॉट डन समथिंग, आप रीजन तो दोगे ना. एंड सेम वे द सेकंड पॉइंट सेज दैट इफ द ऑडिटर इज अनएबल टू एक्सप्रेस एन ओपिनियन, ठीक है, लेट्स से द लोन्स टेकन बाय द कंपनी वो डेटा. सेकंड में क्या है, इफ आंसर इज व्हाट, इन अनफेवरेबल या क्वालिफाइड है, तो व्हाट इज द बेसिस, व्हाट इज द रीजन, ठीक है. And if he is unable to express an opinion, then what is the fact and the reason? क्यों opinion दे ही नहीं सकते with respect to these 21 clauses, ठीक है. So with this, we have the important topic of what CARO 2020, whereby you have seen that applicability के लिए देखा हमने, then we have gone through all the 21 clauses, and paragraph number 4 क्या बोलता है कि अगर reasons unfavorable या qualified है, then the basis is to be given, and if he is unable to express any opinion on any of the points, then indicate the fact and the reasons. Now quickly tell me whether entire CARO 2020 is clear, and then I'll be starting with a very simple topic which is what essay 299. So ये questions वगैरह ना आप यहाँ से as a homework read कर लेना, ठीक है. And disclosure in auditors report, this is also very simple, and in fact this topic will get repeated in chapter number 11. Simple है that qualify कब करोगे audit report, when the financial statements are not prepared on accrual basis, जब accounting standard follow नहीं किए, going concern ठीक नहीं है, so all those points you can just do this as a homework, ठीक है. Joint audit, quickly tell me, I'll wait for your lies as to whether CARO 2020 is clear or not. ठीक है? I'm not अभी summarizing as to what we have done in CARO 2020 and the reasons you all know that we have to cover 4 more important topics. So Swati is saying, ma'am, crystal clear till now. Teacher is saying, yes, ma'am, CARO 2020 is easy, but lengthy, it's clear. Go through it again and again. You will be able to remember all the clauses, I'm sure. Because कुछ है नहीं majorly. ठीक है? So just be smart learners, है ना? जैसे if you see first 4 points are relating to your what? Just have a look here. So see. So these 2 points are your assets. Okay? These 2 points are loans given by the company. So again, asset only. Okay? Then public deposit. Then this is cost records and statutory dues. Hai na? And if you will have a look now, see these 2 are what? Relating to your repayments. Hai na? Where funds have been taken. Okay? निधि कंपनी एंड एनबीएफसी जो सेपरेटली हैं, जस्ट ट्राई टू रिमेम्बर देन सेपरेटली कि 12 और 16 क्लॉजेस में कवर्ड है. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा यू विल हैव टू बी स्मार्ट लर्नर्स, थोड़ा सा यू विल हैव टू वर्क हार्ड, देन यू विल बी एबल टू लर्न. सी if it is fine, then reasoning is not to be given कि हम ऐसा क्यों कह रहे हैं कि पीपी की रेगुलर इंटरवल पे हुआ है, ऐसे नहीं आएगा. So basically, if it is unfavorable or the auditor is not able to give any opinion, then reasoning and the fact is to be mentioned. ठीक है यशिका? Is it clear? So now let us start with joint audit. Quickly tell me, what do you understand by the term joint audit? क्वालिफाइड का क्या मतलब होता है ना यशिका, ये आपको चैप्टर नंबर 11 में वैसे समझ आएगा. क्वालिफाइड मींस दैट व्हेन द ऑडिटर पुट्स अ रिजर्वेशन, कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन दे दिया रिपोर्ट में. क्वालिफाइड का मतलब वो है, क्वालिफाइड मतलब वो सीए क्वालिफिकेशन वाला या पॉजिटिव वे में क्वालिफिकेशन है. दिस इज द नेगेटिव कॉनोटेशन ऑफ द वर्ड क्वालिफाइड, की कुछ रिजर्वेशन पुट कर रहा है ऑडिटर. And this term qualified is going to be more clear to you when you will be doing chapter number 11. वहां डिटेल में है what is meant by qualification. ठीक है. So Swati Singh ma'am, joint audit is what? Joint audit by more than one auditor. तो देखो simple है इसको, इट इज नॉट एट ऑल जैसे अभी तक तो CARO 2020 में देयर वर प्रोविजंस, है ना, तो 21 क्लॉजेस थे या कुछ आपको समझना भी था. ठीक है, आपको कुछ लर्न भी करना था. जॉइंट ऑडिट बहुत सिंपल है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो क्लॉज SA 299. ठीक है, एंड व्हाट इज द नेम? जॉइंट ऑडिट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, SA 299. ठीक है. ठीक है. So see, if you remember, we have done section 139 subsection 3. Let us link this from there. Section 139 subsection 3 पढ़ा था, जहां पर आपने पढ़ा था that the members of the company may resolve. There were 2 points, and the second point was that to appoint more than one auditor, है ना. तो section 139 subsection 3 में ही एक one provision is contained which says that the members of the company may resolve that they'll appoint more than one auditor, कि joint auditors को appoint करना है. ठीक है. So now why joint audit? ठीक है. So basically see, nowadays the companies are going global, है ना, MNCs का concept है. So it is not possible for an individual audit firm to deliver the expert job like in an effective and efficient manner. So where the resources, the expertise of more than one audit firm are pooled in together in order to deliver the effective audit in an efficient manner. Okay? So this is what joint audit. Jointly, more than one firm are coming together to deliver the audit report of the company. So jointly they are going to work. ठीक है? और ये कहाँ से लिंक किया हमने? Section 139 subsection 3. In fact, I'll show you the relevant page also. It is, I think, 10.18. Quickly देखते हैं, है ना? I hope, student, the speed is fine, and try to adjust to this speed for today's session, है ना? Because really I don't want to leave any topic. 10.18. रुको. See. Subject to section 139 subsection 3, है ना? Subject to the provisions of this act, members of the companies may resolve to provide that the audit shall be conducted by more than one auditor, and there also I have mentioned that SC 299 में हम discuss करेंगे. ठीक है? ठीक है? Simple है. अब देखो हमने पढ़ लिया कि joint audit क्यों है. ठीक है? Quickly tell me what in your understanding can be the advantages of appointing joint auditor. क्या होगा? Quickly बताओ. Advantages. Joint auditor है, 2 or 3 firms are coming together. Simple है. ठीक है, स्वाति, got your point. High quality, expertise, save the time. दीक्षा दर्शन ने ये लिखा है. Then others also. हाँ, दर्शन का absolutely correct question है कि मैम साइन कौन करेगा ऑडिट रिपोर्ट, तो ये हम देखेंगे. Quickly send in your replies. Less burden, more work can be covered, effective audit होगा. Absolutely correct. ठीक है, तो ये सब advantages यहाँ पर दिए हुए हैं. इनको as a homework, I think आपने read भी कर लिया होगा. Sharing of expertise, mutual consultation, lower workload, better quality. बताओ what are the disadvantages? Quickly send in your replies. अब देखो when 2 or more firms are coming together, coordination का problem हो सकता है. It might be possible one of the firm is having superiority complex that I am a big company, I am a big audit firm, है ना? So uncertainty about the liability for the work done. जो common areas हैं, है ना? वहाँ पर uncertainty है. One of the audit firm is saying you were responsible for this, other is saying you are responsible. Psychological problem, and first and foremost the fees will be shared, है ना? So these are very simple. You may read these, ठीक है? Now see what is the objective, है ना? जब भी हम कोई ऐसे पढ़ते हैं, हम objective पढ़ते हैं ना, तो देखो objective तो ऐसे जो 200 में था, ठीक है? Overall objective of the independent auditor and the conduct of audit in accordance with standards on auditing, वो objective तो same ही रहेगा ना, but more than one firm, 2 or more firms, they are coming together to achieve that objective. So that is why it's mentioned that SC 299 lays down the principles for effective audit of joint audit to achieve the overall objectives of the auditor as laid down in SC 200. Objective तो वही है, ठीक है? And students, you will see कि जो अभी तक आपने पढ़ा ना, जैसे आपने चैप्टर नंबर 2 में क्या पढ़ा कि ऑडिटर्स जो हैं, एंगेजमेंट पार्टनर और की मेंबर्स जो हैं, they will be involved in planning. तो यहाँ पर भी यही आएगा, बट क्या आएगा? They will be the engagement partner and key members of all the joint auditors. ठीक है? Then overall audit strategy आती है. Again, you will see that all the joint auditors overall audit strategy देखेंगे. NT of resources decide होता है, nature, timing, extent. You will see all the auditors इकट्ठे देखेंगे. Preliminary engagement activities होती है, तो the basic idea is going to remain the same because the objective is what? In order to achieve the overall objective as laid down by the SC 200. ठीक है? Now, on what basis there can be what? division of work. For example, let's say two audit firms are appointed, ABC and Associates and XYZ and Associates. So it might be possible that with respect to a company, the north and the east of the zone of that company are being audited by ABC and Associates. The south and the west are being audited by your XYZ and Associates. Okay? Further, it might be possible that balance sheet item ko ABC and Associate is getting audited, or XYZ ko XYZ is what auditing the P&L item. So these are what divided areas. But there must be certain common areas, na? Like whether the financial statement have proper presentation and disclosure, whether the financial statement comply with the accounting standards. So these are what the common areas. There might be, for example, period end transactions ko. Let's say March month ke liye, both of the auditors are responsible. Okay? Suppose time basis per there has been a division of work, that let's say from April to September ABC and Associates, then October onwards XYZ and Associates, and with respect to the March month, which is the year end, because यहाँ cut off वगैरह सब देखना है. So this is what a common area. So it can be anything. Okay? So where is it mentioned? See, division of work. Just a minute. हाँ ठीक है. सो ज्योग्राफिकल बेसिस पे हो सकता है, आइटम्स ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट के बेसिस पे हो सकता है, एंड टाइम पीरियड बेसिस पे हो सकता है. ठीक है. नाउ I told you certain work that they will be doing jointly. There will be certain work that for which the auditor are responsible individually. So simple सी वही बात है, जो work divide हो गया, with respect to that work, only that particular auditor will be responsible. The work which is common to both the auditors, both of them will be responsible. Simple hai. So basically, see, joint or SC 299 requires that the engagement partner and other key members of engagement tree from each of the joint auditors are involved in planning. Simple है. तो chapter number 2 में आपने पढ़ा वही है, but यहाँ पे क्या है, from all the joint auditors. Same way, joint auditor should jointly establish overall strategy and scope, timing, direction, which guides the development of more detailed audit plan. Same line है chapter number 2 से. Before the commencement of audit, the joint auditor should discuss and develop a joint audit plan. In developing the joint audit plan, the joint auditor should identify the division of audit areas and common audit areas. For example, I told you, geographical basis per, yeah, let's say your items of financial statement basis per, yeah, time period basis per, yeah, common audit areas. Reporting objectives. Consider and communicate among all joint factors. So just remove this point. This is C and then this is D. So typing error hai. Consider and communicate among all joint auditors the factors that are significant in directing the engagement team efforts. ये भी आपने chapter number 3 में पढ़ा है ना. So it basically says, वहां पर आप क्या पढ़ते थे, that the engagement partner should communicate to all the key members with respect to any factors that affect the that helps in directing the engagement team efforts. और यहाँ पर क्या है, among all joint auditors the same will be discussed. ठीक है. Consider the results of preliminary engagement activities. SC 210220 में आपने सब पढ़ा है ना, तो they are jointly going to discuss that. Ascertain the nature, timing, extent of resources required. Each of the joint auditors should consider and assess the risk of material misstatement and communicate to other joint auditors. है ना? The joint auditor should discuss, document the nature, timing, extent of audit procedure for common areas as well as specific audit areas of audit to be performed. एक दूसरे से discuss करेंगे. The joint auditors, very, very important, they should obtain a common engagement letter and a common management representation letter. अब अगर कोई written representation चाहिए, that whether all transactions have been disclosed या any written representation which is required by both the auditors, so common ही तो मिलेगा ना, and same a common engagement letter. Further, students, there is what work allocation document. Again, this is important. You may get MCQ that dash is to be signed by all the auditors. So work allocation document should be signed by all the joint auditors and communicated to those charged with governance. Those charged with governance को भी तो आप बताओगे ना कि हमने ऐसे ऐसे decide किया that this is the area that has been decided, and work allocation document, as the name suggests कि ऐसे ऐसे work को आपने allocate किया. Simple. ठीक है? Is it clear? ठीक है? Now, in respect of the audit work divided among the joint auditors, each joint auditor shall be responsible for only for the work allocated to such joint auditor, including the proper execution of the audit procedures. जो जिसका काम है divided है तो वही responsible है. And very important descriptive type question straightforward बन सकता है. The joint auditor shall be jointly and severally responsible for. jointly किस किस काम के लिए responsible होंगे? The area which is not divided. Logical. Decisions taken by all the joint auditors under planning. जो decision सबने लिए, जो area work divide नहीं हुआ है. Matters which are brought to the notice of the joint auditors by one and there is an agreement among the joint auditors in such matters. Let's say ABC and Associates, the engagement partner, he came across some point, he discussed it with XYZ and Associates, and both of them are in agreement. तो उनके लिए दोनों ही responsible है ना. Examining the financial statement whether they comply with the relevant statute, है ना. Companies Act को comply करता है नहीं. Schedule 3 को. Presentation disclosure of financial statement as required by applicable FRF. तो उसके लिए तो दोनों ही responsible है ना. I'm taking 2 का example. ठीक है. Further, ensuring that audit report complies with the requirement of relevant statute, applicable standards, and the other relevant pronouncements issued by ICAI. ठीक है. Now, again, let us first read this point. It basically says that if any of the joint auditor, or let us just take this example. So, ABC and Associates and XYZ Associates are the 2 joint auditors. Now, Associates, he in some matter which is of importance to XYZ and Associates. Okay? So it simply says now it is the duty of ABC and Associates to communicate to the other joint auditors in writing all such matter which requires XYZ and Associate का attention prior to completion of audit. उसके बाद अगर बताओगे तो थोड़ी ना कोई फायदा है. ठीक है, सिंपल है, लॉजिकल है. नाउ भूमिका, दर्शन, सबका क्या पॉइंट है? मैम साइन ऑन करेगा. देखो, अगर ABC and Associates and XYZ and Associates, they agree and they issue a common audit report, तो कौन साइन करेगा? दोनों एंगेजमेंट पार्टनर्स. ठीक है, दोनों एंगेजमेंट पार्टनर साइन करेंगे. नाउ लेट्स से देयर आर 3 जॉइंट ऑडिटर्स, MNO भी है. ठीक है, देयर आर 3 जॉइंट ऑडिटर्स, है ना. ABC and XYZ are giving one opinion and MNO is giving a different opinion. तो अब क्या करना है? झगड़ा नहीं करना है. सिंपली क्या करना है? ABC and Associates and XYZ and Associates, they will issue a common report. MNO and Associates, this firm will issue a separate report. And in both the reports, ये दोनों तो अग्री कर रहे थे तो इन्होंने एक रिपोर्ट इशू कर दी, MNO ने अपना सेपरेट इशू कर दिया. अगर 2 ऑडिटर्स में भी डिसएग्रीमेंट है तो सेपरेट ऑडिट रिपोर्ट विल बी इशूड. एंड इन द रिस्पेक्टिव रिपोर्ट इन चैप्टर नंबर 11 ना, यू आर गोइंग टू स्टडी अबाउट अदर मैटर पैराग्राफ. वहां पर मेंशन कर दो दैट देयर इज अ सेपरेट रिपोर्ट आल्सो इशूड बाय द अदर जॉइंट ऑडिटर. सो अगर कोई ABC एंड XYZ की कॉमन रिपोर्ट को रीड कर रहा है, आफ्टर रीडिंग that person will be able to understand कि अच्छा जो थर्ड जॉइंट ऑडिटर था उसने कोई सेपरेट रिपोर्ट दिया है. सेम वे MNO भी अपनी रिपोर्ट में मेंशन कर देगा that there is a separate joint auditor. यशिका कहाँ पर है? जल्दी बताओ, आपका जो डाउट है कहाँ से पूछ रहे हो आप? So both the joint auditors, see, अब भूमिका इज सेइंग मैम जनरल मीटिंग कौन अटेंड करेगा? दोनों जॉइंट ऑडिटर्स या तीनों जॉइंट ऑडिटर्स अटेंड करेंगे ना. सो बेसिकली ऑल द प्रोविजंस विल बी सेम. बस क्या है, एक जॉइंट ऑडिटर की जगह 2 या 3, 1 ऑडिटर की जगह आप क्या है 2 या 3 ऑडिटर्स हैं. तो साइन भी सभी करेंगे, अटेंड भी जनरल मीटिंग सभी करेंगे, बिकॉज जो सेक्शन हमने अभी तक पढ़े हैं, क्वालिफिकेशन, पावर्स, राइट्स, ड्यूटीज, that are applicable to all the auditors ना. बेशक वो जॉइंट ऑडिटर हैं या प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर हैं या कंपनी ऑडिटर हैं, that is applicable to each and every. ABC को भी applicable है वही पावर्स एंड ड्यूटीज, XYZ को भी applicable है, MNO को भी applicable है. भूमिका, इज इट क्लियर? दर्शन, इज इट क्लियर? सो हिमांशु विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द 5 years, जो हिमांशु का डाउट है मैम रोटेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर कैसे होगा, तो रोटेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर वो तो इंडिविजुअली अप्लाई होगा ना. एबीसी एंड एसोसिएट, लेट्स से एबीसी एंड एसोसिएट्स 2021 में अपॉइंट हुए फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 5 years. ठीक है, लेट्स से 5 years का पहले पीरियड हो चुका है, एंड यहाँ पर बीच में XYZ एंड एसोसिएट जो ये पार्टनर थे, यहाँ पर लेट्स से यहाँ पर बीच में डिसाइड हुआ है कि जो वन मोर ऑडिट फर्म विल बी अपॉइंटेड, तो इनका अपना रोटेशन होगा, इनका अपना रोटेशन होगा. तो प्रोविजंस विल बी एप्लीकेबल विद रिस्पेक्ट टू each and every auditor. And in fact, whose doubt was it? हिमांशु. देखो ये ना बहुत अच्छा लिंकेज क्रिएट होता है, जो अभी मैंने आपको बताया ना 143 सबसेक्शन 3 में क्या है कि द मेंबर्स में रिजॉल्व दैट इट में अपॉइंट टू मोर देन वन फॉर्म, है ना, रुको, है ना. एंड इफ यू जस्ट हैव अ रीड एट just a minute. See, I am on page number 10.21. So हिमांशु का क्या डाउट है कि मैम रोटेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर कैसे अप्लाई होगा. तो देखो, where a company has appointed 2 or more individual firms in combination thereof as a joint auditors, the company may follow the rotation of the auditors in such a manner that both or all the joint auditors, as the case may be, do not complete their term in the same year. कि दोनों ही joint auditors एक साथ ना चले जाएं. The company may resolve that. जा भी सकते हैं, बट बेटर तो यही है ना कि एकदम से दोनों ऑडिटर्स ना चले जाएं, एकदम से दोनों नए ऑडिटर्स ना आ जाएं, तो कंपनी में रिजॉल्व दैट. बट व्हाटएवर आर द प्रोविजंस, बी इट रिलेटिंग टू रोटेशन, बी इट रिलेटिंग टू क्वालिफिकेशन, डिसक्वालिफिकेशन, वो रिस्पेक्टिव ऑडिट फर्म पर रिस्पेक्टिवली अप्लाई होगा. इट इज नथिंग टू डू विद कि एबीसी क्वालिफाइड है या नहीं, या and then it will decide as to whether XYZ is qualified or not. Individually वो तो applicable होंगे provisions. ठीक है. हाँ, भूमिका सिंह मैम, अगर तीनों चारों पांचों ऑडिटर सेम ओपिनियन दे रहे हैं तो एक कॉमन ऑडिट रिपोर्ट दो ना, और वहां पर सब साइन कर देंगे. सी, अगर देखो, अगर आपको कोई रिटर्न रिप्रेजेंटेशन चाहिए, दैट सपोज रिटर्न रिप्रेजेंटेशन इज चाहिए, इज रिक्वायर्ड from the all the information has been provided to the auditors, तो वो तो कॉमन भी तो दे ही सकते हैं ना. बार बार थोड़ा मैनेजमेंट को अप्रोच करोगे कि अब मुझे भी दे दो, मुझे भी दे दो, मुझे भी दे दो. तो कॉमन एंगेजमेंट लेटर एंड कॉमन रिटर्न रिप्रेजेंटेशन लेटर्स. ठीक है. एंड नाउ डू वन थिंग, जस्ट वेट. जो आपका डाउट आ रहा है ना सिग्नेचर्स कैसे होंगे, जस्ट वेट, गिव मी 1 minute. So let me just have a look if I'm able to find. See, so for all those who are saying ना मैम साइन कैसे होएगा, देखो अभी बताते हैं साइन कैसे होएगा. ये देखो, ये एक ऑडिट रिपोर्ट है. अब देखो यहाँ जॉइंट ऑडिटर्स ने, अब ये पुराना फॉर्मेट है, सो डोंट गो आफ्टर कि क्या यूडिन वगैरह मेंशन है नहीं, बट देखो सबने देयर आर 3 जॉइंट ऑडिटर्स, सो फ्री फॉर सो एंड सो, फॉर सो एंड सो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, फॉर सो एंड सो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, तीनों पार्टनर्स है, साइन किया हुआ है. देखो अब भूमि दर्शन, आपका डाउट क्लियर हुआ. तो सबके, देखो सबके साइन आ गए ना इफ दे आर गिविंग अ कॉमन रिपोर्ट. और अगर कॉमन रिपोर्ट नहीं है, लेट्स से दीज 2 फर्म्स आर गिविंग अ कॉमन रिपोर्ट, तो वो अपना ही कॉमन रिपोर्ट दे देंगे. ही दिस राजेंद्र एंड कंपनी, इट विल गिव इट्स ओन रिपोर्ट, एंड इन दी ओन रिपोर्ट दोनों अपने अपने रिपोर्ट में अदर मैटर पैराग्राफ में द फर्म्स आर गोइंग टू मेंशन दैट अ सेपरेट रिपोर्ट हैज आल्सो बीन इशूड. तो क्विकली बताओ दर्शन, भूमिका, आपका ये डाउट क्लियर हो गया ये रिपोर्ट देख के. सी, अदर मैटर पैराग्राफ ना ये होता है, ये चैप्टर नंबर आप 11 में पढ़ोगे, बट यहाँ पर मेंशन हो जाएगा. यहाँ पर तो कॉमन रिपोर्ट है, दैट इज व्हाई इट इज नॉट मेंशन, बट इट विल बी साइंड बाय ईच एंड एवरी ऑडिटर. तो जो भी डाउट है कि मैम कौन अटेंड करेगा, अरे वो पावर्स एंड ड्यूटीज, वो क्वालिफिकेशन डिसक्वालिफिकेशन सबको रिस्पेक्टिवली अप्लाई होगा. सिंपल है. तो देखो अभी हमने ज्वाइंट ऑडिट में क्या पढ़ा, I hope you are able to see the screen. Send in your reply. वो आपको समझ आ गया ना, signatures वाला part. दर्शन भूमिका, please send in your reply. ठीक है. So joint audit में क्या पढ़ा है हमने? बहुत simple है. Just a minute. SC 299 है. ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? वही जो आपका ओवरऑल ऑब्जेक्टिव था. ठीक है. फिर हमने एडवांटेजेस पढ़े, डिसएडवांटेजेस पढ़े. फिर हमने क्या पढ़ा कि जो भी प्लानिंग हुआ वो जॉइंटली हुआ, जो भी ओवरऑल स्ट्रैटेजी आपने डिस्कस किया वो ओवरऑल हुआ. एनटीए ऑफ ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स, कॉमन एरियाज का भी डिस्कस हुआ एंड अपने अपने एरियाज का भी डिस्कस हुआ. देन प्रिलिमिनरी एंगेजमेंट एक्टिविटीज का रिजल्ट डिस्कस किया. रिस्क ऑफ मटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट का भी एक दूसरे से डिस्कस किया. देन कोई फैक्टर्स हैं तो वो भी एक दूसरे से डिस्कस किए. कॉमन एंगेजमेंट लेटर लिया, मैनेजमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेशन लेटर भी कॉमन लिया. वर्क एलोकेशन डॉक्यूमेंट को सभी ने ऑल शुड साइन. ठीक है. देन वी सॉ कि जॉइंट इंडिविजुअली किसके लिए लायबल है? जो एरियाज इंडिविजुअली डिवाइड हो चुके हैं उसका एनटीई उसका काम करने के लिए. एंड जॉइंटली एंड सेवरली रिस्पॉन्सिबल क्या है? द एरिया विच हैज नॉट बीन डिवाइडेड, या जिसमें सबने अग्री किया हो, है ना, या प्रेजेंटेशन डिस्क्लोजर, या कंप्लायंस विद द स्टैट्यूट, या कंप्लायंस विद एनी ऑफ द रिक्वायरमेंट्स, है ना. And then we have seen that if one of the auditors became aware about any of the situation जो कि दूसरे के लिए important है, तो prior to completion of audit in writing communicate करना है, common audit report देना है. अगर disagreement है तो क्या करना है? separate reports देना है और उसमें mention कर देना है that a separate report has also been issued by the other firm. ठीक है. and वो कहाँ आता है? other matter paragraph में. this is additional information which is not given here but chapter number 11 में you are going to study. ठीक है. So अब बताओ ये क्लियर है? SC 299. Quickly send in your replies. So we will do one thing, we will take a break of and quick break of 10 minutes because break के बाद मुझे SC 600 start करना है and cost audit भी आपको पूरा करवाना है. If 147, that is the penalty wala section, if that I'm not able to take up, so that is a very simple section. You can go through that. And students, please go through that section 147 from the soft copies uploaded on your BOS knowledge portal. If any one of you is having the old module, please do not refer to that from the old hard copies that are available with you. Section 147 को कहाँ से पढ़ना है? आपको मॉड्यूल से पढ़ना है. ठीक है. Is it clear? So all of you, Bhumika is saying crystal clear. Chalo, good. So quick break of 10 minutes. After the break, we'll be doing what? Essay 600. So students, I hope you all are back after the break, Hannah, and I hope that the topics that we have covered today, that is, we have completed CARO 2020 and SC 299. Both the topics are clear to you. Okay. So now we'll be starting with audit of branch office accounts. So basically, just a minute, audit of branch of office accounts. So we are on page number 10.54. Okay. So before doing this now, if you remember, we have had a discussion with respect to section 128 of the Companies Act. Remember? So it is given in your module also. Where is it? It is given here. So basically, हमने डिस्कस किया हुआ है, मैं ब्रीफ में बता रही हूँ. ये सेक्शन 128 सबसेक्शन 1 क्या कहता है? That every company shall prepare and keep at its registered office books of accounts, other relevant paper for every financial year which give a true and fair view, including that of its branch office. है ना? But it may be noted that the books may be kept at such other place which the board of directors has decided and taken a decision. Within 7 days thereof, a notice has been filed with the registrar giving the full address of that other place. Remember, ये पढ़ा था हमने. Further हमने ये भी पढ़ा था that with respect to the subsection 2 क्या बोलता है 128 का, that with respect to the branch office, whether in India or outside India, it shall be deemed that the provisions contained in subsection 1 has been complied with, provided the books of the branch are kept at that office, मतलब branch office में, and proper summarized returns periodically are sent by branch office to the company at its registered office. तो भी हम मान लेंगे कि subsection 1 का provision has been complied with. ठीक है? तो अब ये क्या SS 600 जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं, using the work of another auditor. ठीक है? So basically क्या है, देखो, suppose A Limited is there. ठीक है? And इसका auditor is ABC and Associates. ठीक है? And A Limited के बहुत सारे branches हैं, branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, branch 4. Let's say इनके auditors कौन है? DEF and Associates. And इनके auditors कौन है? XYZ and Associates. So not necessarily, see, auditors of B1, B2, B3, B4 can be XYZ and Associates. So this essay is not dealing with the situation जहां पर ABC and Associates are the auditor of the branches also. Because what is the name? Using the work of another auditor. So यहाँ पर the branches of two auditors is, let's say, DEF and Associates, and other two branches is XYZ and Associates. Now, when the financials of ABC and Associates are made, the financials of these must have been used, which are audited by some other auditor. And ABC is giving its opinion on what? The financials of A Limited. So what is the responsibility of ABC Limited? क्या ABC Limited दोबारा से ये सारी checking करें? Then what is the purpose of appointing separate branch auditors? ठीक है? क्या ABC and Associates blindly, whether he can rely on the work of other joint auditors? So the answer is no. So what is the thumb rule? So the thumb rule is that normally ABC and Associates will be entitled to rely on the work of DEF and Associates and XYZ and Associates in our case, unless special circumstances to visit the branch or examine the branch records. अगर कुछ special circumstances है, कुछ suspicious है, then the ABC and Associates, they need to visit or examine the books of accounts. ये एक basic idea दिया मैंने आपको, ठीक है? Now ऐसे 600 में ना आप देखोगे तो it is in detail at your finals level. अभी एक brief idea है, ठीक है? So section 128 क्या है, ये हमने discuss कर लिया, ठीक है? Now who is the principal auditor? Principal auditor is ABC and Associates. Principal auditor या company auditor, ठीक है? Who is other auditor? DF and Associates and XYZ and Associates. So see, principal auditor means the auditor with responsibility for reporting on financial information of an entity. You need not learn all these. These are not given at your inter level. ये final में है, but I have reproduced it from the ऐसे, है ना, एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए. सो ऑडिटर विद द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ रिपोर्टिंग ऑन द फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ एन एंटिटी व्हेन दैट फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन इंक्लूड्स इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ वन और मोर कंपोनेंट्स ऑडिटेड बाय अनदर ऑडिटर. सिंपल है, समझ आ रहा है ना? जस्ट कीप दैट एग्जांपल इन माइंड. अब अदर ऑडिटर कौन थे हमारे केस में? DEF एंड XYZ means an auditor other than the principal auditor with responsibility for reporting on the financial information of the component which is included in the financial information included by the principal auditor. अब component क्या हो सकता है? It can be a division, it can be a branch, it can be subsidiary, it can be joint venture, associated enterprise, any other financial entity whose financial information is included in the financial information audited by the principal auditor. तो मतलब अगर मैं यहाँ पर अपना example change कर दूं that A Limited is a holding company और यहाँ पर B Limited, C Limited, D Limited, these are the subsidiaries. तो अब ये इन सबके अकाउंट्स यहाँ पर कंसोलिडेट होंगे. तो ऑडिटर हु इज कंडक्टिंग द ऑडिट ऑफ कंसोलिडेटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट इज व्हाट? प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर और द कंपनी ऑडिटर. एंड द ऑडिटर्स हु आर कंडक्टिंग द ऑडिट ऑफ दीज आर व्हाट? अदर ऑडिटर्स. अब क्योंकि सी द ऑडिटर who is working here as other auditor, these are also what chartered accountant duly qualified to be appointed as auditor in terms of section 139. तो ये जो प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर है ये इनका वर्क थोड़ी ना चेक करता रहेगा, फिर तो डुप्लीकेसी ऑफ वर्क विल बी देयर ना. सो द थंब रूल इज दे कैन नॉर्मली रिलाई बिकॉज वो भी तो प्रोफेशनल है, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है, बट यस स्पेशल सर्कमस्टांसेस हैं. देन अल्टीमेटली प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर हिज रिपोर्ट ना, जिसके अंदर ही नीड्स टू कंसीडर द रिपोर्ट, ठीक है, ऑफ द ब्रांच ऑडिटर्स. ठीक है, नहीं ये डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज दर्शन, इट इज जस्ट रिलेटेड टू दीज सिचुएशंस कि जहां पर कंपोनेंट का ऑडिट हो रहा है. कंपोनेंट कैन बी डिवीजन, इट कैन बी सब्सिडियरी, एसोसिएट, ब्रांच, और उसका जॉइंट, उसका ऑडिट जो है कोई और कर रहा है. ठीक है, यहाँ जॉइंट ऑडिट भी नहीं लगेगा. जॉइंट ऑडिटर में तो क्या है, यहाँ पर 2-3 ऑडिटर्स आपने अपॉइंट किए हुए हैं तो वहां पर ऐसे 299 लगेगा. यहाँ पर तो क्या है, किसी और का वर्क जो है दैट इज, एंड दैट अदर ऑडिटर इज ऑल्सो व्हाट? चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, है ना. The financials for which the other auditor has worked, they are consolidated in the financials which you are auditing as principal auditor. Then what is the responsibility of the principal auditor with respect to such components and the component auditor that we are going to study? ठीक है, ठीक है दर्शन, इज योर डाउट क्लियर? तो मैंने बता दिया ये कौन होता है. ठीक है, अब सेक्शन 143 सब सेक्शन 8 देखो. जब भी हमने सेक्शन 143 किया रिगार्डिंग द पावर्स एंड ड्यूटीज ऑफ ऑडिटर, आई ऑलवेज टोल्ड यू दैट 143 सब सेक्शन 8 हम करेंगे जब हम SS 600 करेंगे. ठीक है, सो बेसिकली इट प्रिस्क्राइब्स द ड्यूटीज एंड पावर्स ऑफ कंपनीज ऑडिटर. कंपनीज ऑडिटर मतलब प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर. ठीक है, विद रेफरेंस टू द ऑडिट ऑफ ब्रांच एंड ब्रांच ऑडिटर्स. ठीक है, तो अब क्या करते हैं यहाँ पर ना, जस्ट कीप दिस एग्जांपल इन माइंड. अब हम सारा डिस्कशन ना ये सोच के करेंगे दैट A लिमिटेड का ऑडिटर कौन है? ABC एंड एसोसिएट्स, हु इज द प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर और द कंपनी ऑडिटर. A लिमिटेड की ब्रांचेस हैं B1, B2, B3, B4, जिसके ऑडिट किसने किए? अदर ऑडिटर्स ने, जो कि कौन है? DEF एंड एसोसिएट्स एंड XYZ एंड एसोसिएट्स. ठीक है, क्लियर? ठीक है, अब देखो सिंपल है, बहुत लॉजिकल है. मैंने क्या बताया, थंब रूल क्या है कि वो भी तो प्रोफेशनल है ना, वो भी तो क्वालिफाइड है ना, तो आप यूज कर सकते हो वो. हाँ, देयर नीड टू बी अ बॉन्ड, देयर नीड टू बी अ अंडरस्टैंडिंग बिटवीन बोथ द all the principal auditor and the other joint auditor, because principal auditor before giving his final report he needs to consider the report of the other auditor. तो principal auditor needs to tell the other auditor that this is the timetable कि मेरे को आपका रिपोर्ट इतना तब चाहिएगा, this is the purpose why I need your report, है ना. And you will see that rule number 12 of the CAR, it says that the branch auditor is going to submit his report to the company auditor. ठीक है, अब देखो कंपनी है वे, ठीक है, A लिमिटेड, इसके जो ब्रांच ऑफिस हैं B1, B2, B3 and B4, these can be audited by company auditor or any other person who is qualified under section 139. ठीक है, तो ये SS 600 इस सिचुएशन से डील नहीं करता है, बिकॉज अगर कंपनी ऑडिटर ने ही काम किया है तो फिर तो कोई बात है ही नहीं ना, फिर तो देयर इज नो कंफ्यूजन. यहाँ पर तो क्या है, इफ द ऑडिटर, प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर इज यूजिंग द वर्क ऑफ अदर ऑडिटर. ठीक है, नाउ इफ द ब्रांच ऑफिस इज आउटसाइड इंडिया, अगेन द ऑडिटर कैन बी व्हाट, कंपनी ऑडिटर, की वो अपने ही किसी टीम को भेज दे वहां पे, और एनी अकाउंटेंट और पर्सन ड्यूली क्वालिफाइड टू बी ऑडिटर ऑफ अकाउंट्स ऑफ ब्रांच ऑफिस एज पर द लॉज ऑफ दैट कंट्री, है ना, जो भी वहां की रिक्वायरमेंट है फिर तो वहां के अकॉर्डिंगली क्वालिफिकेशंस विल कम, सिंपल है, ठीक है। नाउ ब्रांच ऑडिटर शैल प्रिपेयर द रिपोर्ट ऑन अकाउंट्स ऑफ ब्रांच एंड सेंड इट टू द कंपनी ऑडिटर, एंड द कंपनी ऑडिटर की क्या ड्यूटी है, ही विल डील विद the same the report of other auditor in his report as he considers necessary. तो इस सिचुएशन में क्या होगा, DEF and associates and आपका XYZ and associates, they are going to send their report to ABC and associates, who is the principal auditor, ठीक है, and then he is going to refer to that report in his report as he considers necessary. Simple है, logical है ना, ठीक है. And I told you that rule 12 of CARO 2014, it has been mentioned that branch auditor shall submit his report to the company auditor, and the reporting of fraud, जो 143 subsection 12 में देखो, जो other auditor है वो भी तो chartered accountant है ना, 139 में अपॉइंट हुआ है ना, वो भी तो है ना, so that will apply to the branch auditor also, तो वो सब सेम रहेगा, ठीक है. Now I told you कि कहाँ लगता है, when the branch branch accounts are being audited by a person other than the company's auditor. So there need to be clear understanding of each role, principal auditor का भी and other auditor का भी. Proper rapid is what, understanding, bond between the two auditors for effective audit. ऐसा ना हो कि principal auditor कोई other auditor की report consider करने, other auditor की report अभी तक ready ही नहीं है, ठीक है, या प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर वांट्स टू सी लेट्स से सेल्स इन डिटेल विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द sales report on sales with respect to the branch office, but abhi that area is not still ready, so there need to be proper understanding. Rapid is what, bond or understanding, ठीक है. So now what is the right of principal auditor ABC and associates? He can visit the component, branches में जा सकता है, examine the books of accounts, other records of branch if he considers necessary. If you remember, हमने ये point पढ़ा भी था, that ऐसा नहीं हो सकता that the branches will say that since we have different branch auditors, we will not show our books of accounts to ABC and associates. So he can examine the books and other records if he considers necessary. He is normally entitled to rely upon the work of other auditor unless special circumstances to visit or examine the books of accounts. Simple, ठीक है. So now certain procedures are required to be which are required to be performed by the principal auditor, that is ABC and associates. कि ABC and associates आप normally rely कर सकते हो DEF and XYZ पे, but आपको भी तो कुछ procedures करने पड़ेंगे. That is, he'll obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence that the work of other auditors DEF and XYZ is adequate for his purpose. तो कैसे, simple है, देखो, he'll advise the other auditors. तो अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, ABC and associates, जो कि हमारा कौन है, principal auditor, he is advising to DEF and XYZ and associates, जो कि कौन है, other auditors. Simple है क्या, use of the other auditors work and report, कि मेरे को क्या use है, ठीक है. Making sufficient arrangements for coordination of efforts at the planning stage. Planning में ही तो बनाना पड़ेगा ना उनको भी, कि देखो we plan to move like this. Every quarter we are going to meet. Every month end we are going to meet. Inform the other auditor areas requiring special consideration. I gave you example of what sales. Give sales specifically you need to work more. Procedures for identification of inter-component transactions requiring disclosure. अब इनके पास branches B1, B2 हैं. इनके पास branches B3, B4 है. So how to identify the inter component, मतलब B1, B2 की transactions, B2 के साथ B3 की transaction. So what is the procedure for identification of inter component transaction requiring disclosure? Timetable for completion of audit, ठीक है. Advise the other auditor. तो ABC अब किसको advise कर रहा है, ABC and associates, DEF and XYZ को, significant accounting and auditing and reporting requirements. Representations with respect to compliance with them. So ABC and associates can ask DEF and associates and XYZ and associates कि मेरे को लिख के दे दो कि आपने ये सब comply किया है ना, accounting, auditing, reporting requirements सब हो रही है ना. He can discuss with other auditor the audit procedures applied. He can review a written summary. तो ABC and associates, DEF को, XYZ को he can ask them to provide a written summary of what audit procedures have been performed. to fill certain questionnaire or checklist कि आपने ये check किया, ये check किया, ये check किया, ठीक है. He may visit the other auditor and other auditor मतलब ये इनके ऑफिस भी जा सकता है इनसे डिस्कस करने के लिए. See whatever we have discussed so far कि कितना चेक करना है, basically the principal auditor he is trying to see as to how, to what extent he can rely on the work of other auditor. So the nature, timing, extent of such procedures in order to see कि कितना उसको advise करना है, कितना involve होना है, it depend upon the circumstances of the engagement and the principal auditor's knowledge of professional competence of other auditor. If ABC and Associates को लगता है DF and Associates is a big four, है ना, बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस है, पिछले साल भी यही थे, बहुत अच्छे से काम किया, तो मे बी यहाँ पर कम इन्वॉल्व हो, XYZ न्यू फॉर्म है, यहाँ पर ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व हो. सो डिपेंड्स अपॉन द सर्कमस्टांसेस ऑफ द एंगेजमेंट एंड द प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर का नॉलेज ऑफ प्रोफेशनल कंपीटेंस ऑफ अदर ऑडिटर. अब आप बोलोगे प्रोफेशनल कंपीटेंस कैसे पता चल सकता है? देखो, हो सकता है लास्ट ईयर भी काम किया हो इसके साथ ही, सिंपल है, बस यही था हमारा SC 600. ठीक है. सो एक बार मैं क्विकली आपको रिवाइज करवाती हूँ क्या क्या किया है. अच्छा, आपके मॉड्यूल में यहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है. ये मैंने आपको फाइनल्स का थोड़ा सा बताया, प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर, अदर ऑडिटर, कंपोनेंट. आई होप इट इज क्लियर. लेट मी जस्ट हैव अ लुक एट द क्वेरी, देन क्विक 5 मिनट्स लगाएंगे एंड देन 148 सेक्शन व्हिच इज अ लेंथी सेक्शन दैट आई विल कंप्लीट. सी दर्शन, देखो अभी ना आप बस ये समझो कि जो भी ब्रांच ऑडिटर की रिपोर्ट है उसको द प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर इज गोइंग टू कंसीडर एज ही कंसीडर्स नेसेसरी इन हिज रिपोर्ट. अपनी रिपोर्ट में कंसीडर तो करना पड़ेगा. अब सी डिपेंड्स अपॉन द सर्कमस्टांसेस ना. अगर आप अब इतने सारे MCQs बनाओगे कि B1 का तो अच्छा रिपोर्ट था, B2 का 2 and नहीं था, B3 का अच्छा था, तो वो इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द सर्कमस्टांसेस ऑफ द केस एंड ABC and Associates का प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट, एंड जो भी वर्क होगा डिपेंडिंग अपॉन दैट ही विल गिव हिज ओपिनियन. ठीक है दर्शन, इज इट क्लियर? ठीक है. तो प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर क्या था हमारा? जो मेन फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स बन रहे हैं कंसोलिडेटेड, जिसमें कंपोनेंट के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स भी आ रहे हैं. ठीक है. तो जो कंसोलिडेटेड बन रहे हैं उसका जो ऑडिटर है दैट इज प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर. अदर ऑडिटर कौन है? जो कंपोनेंट्स के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को विच आर इंक्लूडेड इन द मेन कंसोलिडेटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, तो जो कंपोनेंट्स के ऑडिटर को फाइनेंशियल्स को ऑडिट कर रहे हैं. कंपोनेंट कौन है? डिवीजन, ब्रांच, सब्सिडियरी, जॉइंट वेंचर, कुछ भी हो सकता है. ठीक है दर्शन, इज इट क्लियर? जो आपका डाउट है. सेक्शन 128 क्या कहता है? क्विकली बस मैं 2-3 मिनट्स में एंटायर ऐसे रिवाइज करने वाली हूँ. सेक्शन 128 कहता है कि जो बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स हैं वो कहाँ पर रखने हैं? रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस में, इंक्लूडिंग दैट ऑफ ब्रांच ऑफिस. हाउएवर अगर डायरेक्टर्स डिसाइड करते हैं एंड विद इन 7, इट मे बी केप्ट एट एनी अदर प्लेस, 7 days में ROC को नोटिस फाइल करना है. सेक्शन 128 सबसेक्शन 2 क्या बोलता है? इफ देयर इज अ ब्रांच इन और आउटसाइड इंडिया, तो मान लिया जाएगा कि 128 सबसेक्शन 1 हैज बीन कंप्लाइड विद, प्रोवाइडेड returns are kept there at the branch office but summarized accounts are kept there but properly summarized returns are sent to the registered office on periodic basis. Simple. So अब 143 subsection 8 हमें पता है 143 deals with what? Powers and duties of auditors. So 143 subsection 8 किसके लिए है? Duties and powers of company's auditor, principal auditor with reference to the audit of branch, कि branch में कितना power and duty he has, and the branch auditor. ठीक है. So and this essay deals with a situation where branch audit or the components audit has been done by other auditor. ठीक है. branch audit outside India है तो person can be company auditor who is conducting the audit. फिर तो ये ऐसे अप्लाई ही नहीं होता ना. और accountant, a person duly qualified to become chartered accountant as per the auditor as per the laws of that company. ठीक है. Rule 12 क्या कहता है कि branch auditor will submit his report to the company auditor and he'll deal with it as he considers necessary. So this is the language that has been used in SC 600. Darshan, is it clear? ठीक है. Reporting of fraud है वो सब तो as it is लगेगा. ठीक है. Now there need to be clear understanding, proper rapport होना चाहिए. इसके लिए क्या आया? SC 600 जिसमें right of principal auditor है. He can visit the component. So you may get MCQ कि वो उसको visit करने के लिए allow नहीं कर रहे. So which is not correct. True, false कुछ भी आ सकता है. There is a क्वेश्चन ऑल्सो ना, ये एग्जाम्पल हमने डिस्कस किया था बुक में, इट इज गिवन कि दे आर नॉट अलाउइंग द प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर टू एग्जामिन द रिकॉर्ड्स ऑफ द ब्रांच ऑन द प्रीमाइज दैट ब्रांच ऑडिटर ऑलरेडी है, उसका रिपोर्ट दे दिया, बट विच इज नॉट करेक्ट. ठीक है, नॉर्मली एंटाइटल्ड है, बट ही कैन विजिट और एग्जामिन इन केस ऑफ स्पेशल सर्कमस्टांसेस. क्या क्या ऑडिट प्रोसीजर अब देखेगा तो ना प्रिंसिपल ऑडिटर, वेदर द वर्क ऑफ अदर ऑडिटर इज सफिशिएंट, इज एडिक्वेट और नॉट फॉर हिज पर्पसेस. तो उनको एडवाइस कर सकते हैं व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ द अदर ऑडिटर्स वर्क, सफिशिएंट अरेंजमेंट फॉर कोऑर्डिनेशन कर सकते हैं, इन्फॉर्म कर सकते हैं कि ये स्पेशल कंसिडरेशन है, आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करना है इंटर कंपोनेंट को, टाइम टेबल क्या है, अदर ऑडिटर को सिग्निफिकेंट अकाउंटिंग रिपोर्टिंग रिक्वायरमेंट्स बता सकते हैं, कंप्लायंस है या नहीं, डिस्कस कर सकते हैं ऑडिट प्रोसीजर, उनसे रिटर्न समरी ले सकते हैं. यू मे गेट एमसी क्योंकि उन्होंने क्वेश्चन में फिल करने के लिए दिया, उन्होंने फिल नहीं किया, हु इज करेक्ट और इनकरेक्ट. तो ब्रांच ऑडिटर को फिल करना होगा, वो चेकलिस्ट देना होगा, रिटर्न समरी देना होगा. ही मे विजिट एंड ऑल दीज वर्क डिपेंड अपॉन कि what are the circumstances of the principal auditor and the knowledge of the professional competence of the other auditor that principal auditor is having. ठीक है, so with this we have finished what essay 600. quickly reply करो, क्लियर है, सिंपल सा ऐसे है. उसके बाद हम करने वाले हैं स्टार्ट एंड फिनिश व्हाट सेक्शन 148 रिलेटिंग टू व्हाट योर कॉस्ट ऑडिट. क्विकली सेंड इन योर रिप्लाईज. सेक्शन 147 आप पढ़ लेना, बहुत इजी है, बट मैंने आपको बार बार बोला क्या, अगर ओल्ड हार्ड कॉपीज हैं तो उनसे मत देखना, बिकॉज देयर हैज बीन सर्टेन चेंजेस, अपडेशन हुआ है. तो आप कहाँ से देखना, आप जो आपकी सॉफ्ट कॉपी अवेलेबल है ऑन द VOS नॉलेज पोर्टल, वहां से रेफर करना. ठीक है, अब क्विकली बताओ, सेंडिंग योर रिप्लाईज. दर्शन आपका अब रिप्लाई नहीं आया, आपका वो क्वेरी क्लियर है? Sending your replies, then I'll start with section 148. And students, see the chapters that I have taken with you in this session. It has been my endeavor to simplify things for you, to make understanding easy, to help you in learning also. So I hope you are able to understand and learn. And since this is my last session, so यहाँ पर भी my efforts are to simplify this technical chapter also for all of you. So why I'm not getting the replies? IT देखना replies आ रहे हैं या मेरे को ही नहीं रिसीव हो रहे हैं. मेरे को replies रिसीव नहीं हो रहे हैं. चलो, so अभी I'm not getting your queries. I don't know why. Let us start with section 148. And what is it? Central government to specify the audit of items of cost in respect of certain companies. तो ये भी हम थोड़ा सा quickly, हाँ ठीक है, अब आ गए हैं, no queries. Shubham is saying, Darshan is saying understood, Himanshu is saying ma'am clear, Diksha, Manisha, Shubham, Bhumika, Sudhanshu, Darshan, Rajiv, Guduri, Himanshu, Yashika. Chalo, that's good. Shubham is saying, ma'am, because of you, I have found audit subject much easy and interesting to learn. Thanks to you. Thanks to you people for being so patient listener and for making these sessions very interactive. I've really enjoyed teaching all of you. And अभी बाद में बातें करेंगे, चलो वो अभी section 148 start करते हैं, because there are again how many, there are 8 subsections to this section 148 है ना. 147 अगर time बचेगा we'll definitely just have a look at it, otherwise do it as your homework. Questions बहुत easy है, मैंने answers दे दिए हैं, वो भी आप as a homework करना, ठीक है. So just a minute. So ये देखो, ये जो हम पढ़ रहे थे 148 हो जाएगा. This I have given you as a homework. Otherwise, we have covered all the all the sections. ठीक है, अब देखो सेक्शन 148 सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट to specify audit of items of cost in respect of certain companies. तो पावर किसके पास है? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास है. क्या will it be applicable for all the companies? No. From the very name of the section also you can see certain companies. ठीक है, तो अब हम क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं? Central government has the power that with respect of certain class of companies, the central government may prescribe that cost records are to be maintained. ठीक है, in a format which is given. ठीक है, further, out of those companies which are required to maintain cost records, certain companies are required to get the cost audit done. Cost audit is altogether separate from your statutory audit जो अभी तक हम पढ़ रहे थे. स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट करता है, कॉस्ट ऑडिट कौन करेगा? अभी हम पढ़ेंगे कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट करेगा. ठीक है, क्लियर, एक ब्रीफ आइडिया. ठीक है, एंड स्टूडेंट्स इन दिस, तो सेक्शन 148 हम पढ़ेंगे. फर्दर, विद रेफरेंस टू कॉस्ट ऑडिट, व्हाट आर द रेलेवेंट रूल्स? कंपनीज कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स एंड ऑडिट रूल्स 2014. कंपनीज कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स एंड ऑडिट रूल्स. यहाँ पर कार को हम सिर्फ रूल 14 रेफर करेंगे यहाँ पर. Otherwise, with respect to section 148, wherever rules are mentioned, that implies what? Companies, cost records and audit rule 2014. Simple. For the CARO 2020 में भी हमने देखा ना, that with respect to clause 6, paragraph number 3 of CARO 2020, reporting requirement is there that whether the cost records are required to be maintained as prescribed by CG, and if yes, whether the same has been maintained. So CARO 2020 maybe there is a reporting requirement. सिंपल, क्लियर है. ठीक है, नाउ कॉस्ट ऑडिट क्या होता है? ठीक है, सो कॉस्ट एंड ऑडिट. ऑडिट तो अब आपको पता है क्या होता है. सो इट इज एन ऑडिट प्रोसेस फॉर वेरीफाइंग द कॉस्ट ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चर प्रोडक्शन ऑफ एनी आर्टिकल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ अकाउंट्स relating to utilization of material, labor and other cost as maintained by the company. तो कंपनी को कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स मेंटेन करने हैं. ऑडिट कौन करेगा? कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट. सो ऑडिट प्रोसेस फॉर वेरीफाइंग द कॉस्ट ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चर और प्रोडक्शन ऑफ एनी आर्टिकल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ अकाउंट्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ मटेरियल, लेबर, अदर कॉस्ट मेंटेन्ड बाय अ कंपनी. कौन सा कंपनी है ये भी सीजी बताएगा. कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स कैसे मेंटेन करने हैं ये भी सीजी बताएगा. ठीक है, and we all know that wherever it is mentioned as may be prescribed, so we need to refer. And what are the rules that we will be referring here? The rules are what? Company cost records and audit rule 2014, except for rule 14 of companies audit and auditor rules. ठीक है, so there are 8 subsection. Subsection 1 is with respect to cost records. Subsection 2 is with respect to cost audit. Subsection 3 is with respect to appointment of cost auditor. Subsection 4 is with respect to cost audit is in addition to audit of financial statement. So ये वाला subsection अभी कर लेते हैं. Subsection 4 क्या बोलता है? 148 subsection 4 says that this cost audit, it is in addition to the audit of financial statement. So the company cannot take a plea that we have got the financial statement audited, now we are not getting cost audit done. ये in addition है. Qualification, disqualification rights of the cost auditor. Copy of report to be given to central government, information explanation to CG and certain penal provisions जो आप पढ़ोगे कि this is same as section 147. Clear? So we have done what? 4th वाला subsection हो गया हमारा, 8th वाला subsection हो गया. ठीक है, now section 148 subsection 1. तो I have tried to make a very simple summary for all of you. ये यहीं से करते हैं हम इसको. एंड फॉर ऑल दोज हु वांट टू टेक स्क्रीनशॉट, लास्ट में आई विल गिव यू अ चांस वेयर बाय आई विल सेट द पेज, यू कैन टेक द स्क्रीनशॉट. सेक्शन 148 सबसेक्शन 1 क्या कहता है? द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मे बाय ऑर्डर इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ सच क्लास ऑफ कंपनीज एज मे बी प्रिस्क्राइब्ड. और वो कहाँ प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है? रूल 3 ऑफ विच रूल्स? कंपनीज कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स एंड ऑडिट रूल्स. अब ये कार्ड नहीं आएगा अनलेस एंड अनटिल स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन. ठीक है, so section 148 subsection 1 says that the CG may by order in respect of such class of companies engaged in production of goods or providing the services as may be prescribed, require the particulars regarding utilization of material, labor and other that shall be included in books of accounts. और वो कैसे cost records maintain करने हैं? In such manner as may be prescribed, और वो कहाँ prescribed है? Rule 5 में. तो किसको, who all are required to maintain the cost records? ये कहाँ mentioned है? Rule 3 में. How the cost records are to be maintained? Where is it mentioned? Rule 5. And who is specifying them? Central government. Simple है, section 148 subsection 1. ठीक है. Now rule 3. So application of cost records. Such class of companies as may be prescribed engage in production of goods or providing the services. ठीक है. So now rule 3 of cost records and audit rule 2014. ठीक है. So it basically says that where the overall turnover from all the product and services is more than equal to 35 CR during the immediately preceding financial year. अब all का क्या मतलब है ये अभी मैं बताती हूँ आपको, but अभी just try to consider if a company is manufacturing certain goods which या अभी पढ़ो देखो, under rule 3 there is a bifurcation of regulated and non-regulated sector is also given. Though rule 3 में there is only one condition that which applies to regulated also to non-regulated also, है ना? What is regulated, non-regulated? So this is just for your understanding. This is not given in a module. तो ऐसे आपको कोई learn नहीं करना है. So there are certain regulated sectors, there are certain non-regulated sectors. Around 33 non-regulated हैं, but मैंने कुछ examples ही mention किए हैं. For example, regulated sector telecommunication और TRAI, है ना? Generation, transmission, distribution, supply of electricity, petroleum, drugs and pharmaceutical company, fertilizer company, sugar and industrial alcohol. So these are what regulated sector. Non-regulated, I told you list is around approximate, I suppose 33 items are there. Out of that, turbojets, arm, ammunition, aeronautical, iron and steel, coffee and tea. These are what regulated and non-regulated sectors. Okay? So let's take an example that the company is manufacturing coffee, tea, and one more. The company with respect to which we want to see whether cost records are to be maintained. So that company is manufacturing coffee. So since it is manufacturing one, it is in non-regulated sector, तो cost records में तो आ जाएगा. ठीक है? But when are the cost records required to be maintained? When the overall turnover, let's say this company is making coffee plus X, one product also the company is manufacturing, and the overall turnover from all the product, एक product तो list में आ गया ना, from all the product is more than equal to 35 CR during the immediately preceding financial year, तो क्या होगा? The company is required to maintain the cost records. ठीक है? And it includes what? Foreign company. It includes foreign company. And what is not included? So the micro enterprise or the small enterprise as per the MSME Development Act 2016, they are not required to maintain the cost records. So यहाँ पर medium नहीं है, micro and small enterprise as per the MSME Development Act. ठीक है? So under rule 3, regulated और non-regulated sectors का bifurcation दिया है. अब आप बोलोगे कि bifurcation दिया क्यों है? Because limit तो एक ही है. Because later on this bifurcation will be used as to who are required to get cost audit done. तो वो bifurcation rule 3 में ही बता दिया गया. ठीक है? So I'll repeat it. So students समझ आ रहे हैं? एक बारी reply करना quickly. So Manisha is saying, ma'am, your classes were amazing. We understand everything and learn to apply our mind on each type of topic. So that's good. And these messages are really very motivating, Manisha and Shubham. Thanks a lot. And this has been possible only when you have implemented what I have asked to do or sir has asked to do. ठीक है? तो अभी देखो हमने क्या पढ़ा, सेक्शन 148 सबसेक्शन 1 क्या बोलता है, सीजी में बाय ऑर्डर प्रेस्क्राइब सच क्लास ऑफ कंपनीज जो कि एंगेज इन प्रोडक्शन ऑफ गुड्स एंड प्रोवाइडिंग सर्विसेज, और वो कहां पर प्रिस्क्राइब है, रूल 3 में, टू मेंटेन सच टाइप ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स इन दैट ऑफ मटेरियल लेबर अदर दैट इट शैल बी इंक्लूडेड इन बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स ऑफ द कंपनी इन सच मैनर एज में प्रिस्क्राइब, वो कहां प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है, रूल 5 में। तो अभी हमने रूल 3 पढ़ा, हमने क्या पढ़ा, अगर द ओवरऑल टर्नओवर मतलब जो प्रोडक्ट लिस्ट में इंक्लूडेड है plus any other product also, uska overall turnover of that company from all its products and services is more than equal to 35 CR during the immediately preceding financial year, then the cost records are to be maintained. ठीक है, it includes foreign company, तो अगर foreign company ने भी criteria meet किया तो cost records maintain करने हैं। माइक्रो और स्मॉल ने इवन इफ ये क्राइटेरिया मीट किया बट दे आर एग्जेम्प्टेड, दैट्स इट। रेगुलेटेड क्या है, नॉन रेगुलेटेड क्या है, ये मैंने आपको बता दिया। No, Darshan, it is not. Micro or small, sorry, Darshan, wait. Yes, it is applicable. Micro and small are exempted. ठीक है, चलो ठीक है। Now, ये सब आपको लर्न करने की जरूरत नहीं है, I told you this is for just for your understanding. ठीक है, now rule 5, maintenance of record in such manner as may be prescribed. So since every company under these rules, so rules is what, under rule 3 जिसको भी ये applicable हो गया, एवरी कंपनी इंक्लूडिंग ऑल इट्स यूनिट्स एंड ब्रांचेस, अगर ए लिमिटेड को एप्लीकेबल हो गया तो इसके जितने भी ब्रांचेस हैं ना वो भी मेंटेन करेंगे कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स फॉर ईच फाइनेंशियल ईयर। एंड व्हाट इज द फॉर्मेट, CRA1। CRA देखो, कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स एंड ऑडिट ही तो आ गया ना, आई सपोज ये CRA1। ठीक है, ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस that facilitate calculation of per unit cost of production, cost of operation, cost of sales या margin every financial year में, be it on monthly basis, be it on quarterly basis, half yearly, और ये this is connected by or yearly basis। सिंपल है। सो अगर आप गूगल भी करोगे ना CRA1, आपको दिखेगा वहां पर मटेरियल का लिखना है, लेबर क्या है, डेवलपमेंट कॉस्ट एंड वेरियस अदर कॉस्ट के क्राइटेरिया दिए हुए हैं, गूगल करोगे इजीली मिल जाएगा आपको। ठीक है, तो अभी हमने रूल 3 में पढ़ा किसको मेंटेन करना है, जिसका ओवरऑल टर्नओवर फ्रॉम ऑल इट्स प्रोडक्ट्स एंड सर्विसेज मोर देन इक्वल टू 35 CR है ड्यूरिंग द इमीडिएटली प्रीसीडिंग फाइनेंशियल ईयर। फॉरेन कंपनी को लगेगा, माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल को नहीं लगेगा। ठीक है, रेगुलेटेड नॉन रेगुलेटेड आपने देख लिया। मेंटेनेंस कैसे करना है, सभी कंपनी को करना है इंक्लूडिंग द यूनिट्स एंड ब्रांचेस ईच फाइनेंशियल ईयर में CRA1 में। ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर, इज इट क्लियर, सिंपल है। ठीक है, अब हम किसकी बात करते हैं, कॉस्ट ऑडिट की। सो डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज, सेक्शन 148 सबसेक्शन 1 कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स की बात करता है, रूल 3 भी कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स की बात करता है, रूल 5 भी कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स की बात करता है। Section 148 subsection 2 is about audit. And what is the relevant rule? Rule 4. Okay? So if the central government is of the opinion that it is necessary to do so, it may direct the audit of cost records. तो आउट ऑफ रूल 3 वाली कंपनी ही तो नाउ इसमें से कुछ कंपनीज को क्या करना पड़ेगा, कॉस्ट ऑडिट मेंटेन करवाना पड़ेगा। मे बाय ऑर्डर direct the audit of cost records of class of company covered under subsection 1, because वहीं से तो आएंगी ना कंपनीज जिसको कॉस्ट ऑडिट करवाना पड़ेगा, based on the net worth and turnover as may be prescribed. And where is it prescribed? In rule 4. So what is the applicability for cost audit? तो अब देखो रूल 3 में regulated unregulated बताया गया था ना, now this is used in rule 4. कैसे? Applicability of cost audit as per regulated sectors and for unregulated sector. So if the overall turnover, annual turnover overall, that is from all the product, is more than 50 CR, more than equal to 50 CR, and the turnover of specified good, मतलब कॉफी प्लस एक्स का ओवरऑल टर्नओवर कितना है 50 CR, एंड सिर्फ कॉफी का जो कि कवर्ड है वो कितना है 25 CR। तो कॉफी नहीं, बिकॉज कॉफी तो अनरेगुलेटेड सेक्टर में था ना, आई सपोज। तो टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ व्हाट, योर फर्टिलाइजर। ठीक है, फर्टिलाइजर। ठीक है, सो applicability to get the cost audit done, regulated में क्या है, if the overall annual turnover is more than equal to 50 CR and total turnover or specified क्या था, fertilizer था, it is more than equal to 25 CR for regulated sector. अनरेगुलेटेड में क्या है, ओवरऑल एनुअल टर्नओवर इज मोर देन इक्वल टू 100 CR and total turnover specified is more than equal to 35 CR again during the immediately preceding financial year, then cost audit की applicability आ जाएगी. However, there are certain exceptions. वहां क्या था, micro and small. Requirement of cost audit under the rules is not applicable to the company जिसका revenue from exports is more than 75% of total revenue. See, you are helping the country by earning the forex ना, तो एग्जेम्पशन है. बिकॉज कॉस्ट ऑडिट करवाना एक एडिशनल, देयर इज एडिशनल यू कैन से रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑन द कंपनी ना, कि आप सारे पहले कॉस्ट ऑडिटर को अपॉइंट करोगे, उसको सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स दोगे, एक बर्डन ही तो है ना, फीस दोगे, है ना. सो इफ द कंपनी इज अर्निंग रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम एक्सपोर्ट्स मोर देन which is more than 75% of total revenue, or the company is operating in cess, or the company is generating the electricity for captive consumption. So don't get confused कि यहाँ पर regulated sector में भी मैम ने बताया था generation, transmission, distribution of supply of electricity, वहां तो cost regulated sector है. See, this is for captive consumption. Captive consumption का क्या मतलब है, आपने generate की electricity and the company is using it captively for its own use, या अपनी ही किसी sister concern को the electricity has been given for captive consumption. So they are also exempt from the requirement to get cost audit done. Simple है, ठीक है, simple है. तो अभी तक क्या पढ़ा, सेक्शन 148 सबसेक्शन 1. तो हमने पढ़ा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट फॉर सच क्लास ऑफ कंपनी एज में बी प्रिस्क्राइब, कहाँ प्रिस्क्राइब है, रूल 3 में. कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स आर टू बी मेंटेन इन सच मैनर एज में प्रिस्क्राइब, रूल 5 में. सेक्शन 148 क्या कहता है, सच क्लास ऑफ कंपनी आउट ऑफ 148 सबसेक्शन 1, एंड वो कहाँ प्रिस्क्राइब है, रूल 4 में. इसका सिंपल सा क्या क्राइटेरिया है, इफ द ओवरऑल टर्नओवर from all the products and services is more than equal to 35 CR during the immediately preceding financial year. और ये रूल 5 क्या बोलता है, CRA 1 में एवरी ईयर के लिए करना है. इट कैन बी मंथली, क्वार्टरली, हाफ ईयरली, ईयरली, एंड सभी को करना है, ब्रांचेस को, ऑडिट यूनिट्स को भी, सो दैट आप पर यूनिट कॉस्ट कैलकुलेट कर सको. यहाँ पर क्या है, रेगुलेटेड और अनरेगुलेटेड का अलग अलग लिमिट्स है. व्हाट, इफ द ओवरऑल टर्नओवर फ्रॉम ऑल ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट इज मोर देन इक्वल टू 50 CR एंड स्पेसिफाइड का कितना है, मोर देन इक्वल टू 25 CR ड्यूरिंग द इमीडिएटली प्रीसीडिंग फाइनेंशियल. और यहाँ पर क्या है, अनरेगुलेटेड में 135 CR. एक्सेप्शन क्या है, revenue from exports more than 75% of total revenue, operating in cess, and generation of electricity for captive consumption. See, I'm trying to base all this thing in your mind, है ना, कि ये बैठ जाए आपके दिमाग में. I hope you are able to grasp what I'm saying. ठीक है, is it clear? ठीक है. Now section 148 subsection 3 क्या बोलता है, अब बहुत सिंपल चलेगा आगे. यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा था टेक्निकल जो हमने पढ़ा, कि कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स किसको मेंटेन करने हैं और कैसे मेंटेन करने हैं, कॉस्ट ऑडिट कैसे किसको करवाना है, और व्हाट इज द लिमिट. ठीक है. अब देखो, नाउ रेस्ट इज ऑलमोस्ट द सेम एज वी हैव डन फॉर स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर. ठीक है. 148 सबसेक्शन 3 क्या बोलता है, जस्ट लिसन टू इट एज अ स्टोरी. भूमिका, आई होप नाउ आफ्टर दिस रिवीजन ना, जो आपने अभी डाउट भेजा है ये क्लियर हो गया होगा आपको. प्लीज सेंड इट अगेन अगर अभी भी डाउट है तो. ठीक है. 148 सबसेक्शन 3 क्या बोलता है, दैट द कॉस्ट ऑडिटर विल बी व्हाट, कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट. हु शैल अपॉइंट, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. द रेम्यूनरेशन शैल बी डिसाइडेड बाय द बोर्ड ऑफ बाय द मेंबर्स in such manner as may prescribed. और यहाँ पर हम किसको रेफर करते हैं, रूल 14 of companies auditor and auditor rule 2014. and you will see the rule is same, कि ऑडिट कमिटी है तो ऑडिट कमिटी ने रिकमेंड किया बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर को, रेम्यूनरेशन भी रिकमेंड किया, उसी को मेंबर्स ने अप्रूव कर दिया. और ऑडिट कमिटी नहीं है तो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स ने अपना अप्रूवल दिया मेंबर्स को. तो सेम है ना. तो ये कौन सा रूल है, कंपनी ऑडिट एंड ऑडिटर रूल 2014. ठीक है. फर्दर सेक्शन 139 का ऑडिटर कैन नॉट बी कॉस्ट ऑडिटर, बिकॉज ये तो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है और ये क्या है, कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट है. ठीक है. एंड the way the statutory auditors were required to comply with standards on auditing in terms of section 139 subsection 9, यहाँ पर 148 subsection 3 क्या कहता है, they will comply with the cost auditing standards as issued by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. ठीक है. So there is a doubt of Bhumika with respect to नहीं. See students, don't get confused. कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स मेंटेन करने हैं या नहीं वो कहाँ मेंशन है, रूल 3 में. ठीक है. एंड वहां पर क्या लिमिट है, बेशक रेगुलेटेड हो या अनरेगुलेटेड सेक्टर हो, आपको ओवरऑल टर्नओवर फ्रॉम ऑल द प्रोडक्ट्स इफ इट इज मोर देन इक्वल टू 35 CR देखना है. यहाँ कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स का खत्म हो गया, रूल 3. ठीक है. नाउ आउट ऑफ दीज कंपनीज किसको कॉस्ट ऑडिट भी करवाना है, तो आई टोल्ड यू देयर आर 2 सेपरेट थिंग्स. कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन करना है तो उसमें तो बस मेंटेन कर लिया, अब उसका ऑडिट भी करवाना है नहीं, वो कहाँ लिखा है 148 सबसेक्शन 2 में, जिसमें इट रेफर्स टू व्हाट, रूल 4. एंड रूल 4 सेज दैट out of regulated sector and non-regulated sector there are 2 criteria that have been given. Regulated के लिए ये दोनों देखने पड़ेंगे. अगर overall annual turnover is more than equal to 50 CR and turnover of specified goods is more than equal to 25 CR तो आपको cost audit भी करवाना है. Now don't get confused कि रूल 3 में 35 CR लिखा है, वहां मत जाओ, वो अब हो गया, cost records maintain हो गए. ठीक है. रेगुलेटेड में ऑडिट कब करवाना है, इफ इट इज मोर देन व्हाट 25 CR. क्लियर. ठीक है भूमिका, नाउ इज इट क्लियर. सी दर्शन, आई टोल्ड यू ना, कॉस्ट ऑडिट कौन करेगा, कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट करेगा. कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट. व्हाई आर यू गेटिंग कंफ्यूज्ड? दर्शन, भूमिका, टेल मी वेदर इट इज क्लियर. स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर कौन होता है, स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर होता है चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. ठीक है. ठीक है. अब रूल 6 is with respect to appointment of cost auditor. So the Bhumika, tell me, is your doubt clear? So the cost auditor will be appointed within 180 days of the commencement of every financial year. तो ये every financial year के लिए appoint होगा. ठीक है. And before appointment, written consent will be taken and a certificate will be taken that he is eligible, not disqualified. He satisfies the criteria of section 141. It is within the limits. List of proceedings है true and correct है. ये सब पढ़ा हुआ है ना हमने, as it is same है ना. ठीक है, सेम है ना. पर यहाँ पे कौन अपॉइंट कर रहा है, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स विद इन 180 days ऑफ द कमेंसमेंट ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल ईयर. ठीक है. अच्छा, ये आई हैव मेंशन कि ये दिस इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर, तो जस्ट फॉर कंपैरिजन आई हैव गिवन दिस. सो वंस द ऑडिटर हैज बीन अपॉइंटेड, cost auditor has been appointed, the company will inform the cost auditor of his appointment and file a notice of such appointment with the central government. अब आरओसी को नहीं कर रहे हैं हम, रजिस्ट्रार को नहीं कर रहे हैं हम, किसको कर रहे हैं, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, बिकॉज 148 हमने देखा कि पावर किसके पास है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास है. और एंड दैट नोटिस इज टू बी फाइल्ड विद इन 30 days of the board meeting in which the appointment is made or within a period of 180 days from the commencement of financial year. ठीक है, विच एवर इज अर्लियर. तो जब भी आपने अपॉइंट किया, अगर बोर्ड मीटिंग हो गई 30 days में अपॉइंट हो गया है वो, देन बोर्ड मीटिंग के 30 days के अंदर यू आर गोइंग टू इन्फॉर्म द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट or within a period of 180 days of commencement of financial year, whichever is earlier. Okay. And how to inform the auditor or the central government? By filing electronically CRA2. वहां पर आप क्या फाइल करते थे, ADT1. यहाँ क्या है, CRA2 along with the fees. तो यहाँ पर भी सेम डिटेल की कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट है, प्रोप्राइटर है, फर्म है, ये सब मेंबरशिप नंबर वगैरह एवरीथिंग. And the cost auditor so appointed, he shall hold office till the expiry of 180 days from the closure of financial year or till he submits the cost audit report. जब सबमिट हो जाएगा cost audit report, वहां तक है उसका ऑफिस, या till the expiry of 180 days from the closure of financial year, right? Now, can the cost auditor be appointed before the expiry of the term? The answer is yes. How? Board resolution will be passed, reasonable opportunity of being heard will be given, and the reasons will be recorded. Now, the person who has been removed, उसकी जगह पे कोई और person आएगा, and we have seen that whenever an auditor is appointed, central government को CRA2 में हम inform करते हैं. Then again, CRA2 will be filed with the central government for intimating the appointment of another cost auditor, and the board resolution will be attached, जहां पर reasons will be mentioned. ठीक है, clear है? And further it says it will not prejudice the right of the cost auditor to resign. वो तो वो resign कर ही सकता है. Casual vacancy, again filled by board of directors within 30 days and the company needs to inform to the central government in CRA2. देखो ये बंदा चला गया, कोई और आ गया ना cost auditor, तो उनके अपॉइंटमेंट के लिए CRA2 में within 30 days of the appointment to be informed to central government. Clear है? I told you that rule 14 is exactly the same कि remuneration से related था ना ऑफ कॉस्ट ऑडिटर. ऑडिट कमिटी है तो उनका रिकमेंडेशन अपॉइंटमेंट प्लस रेम्यूनरेशन में बोर्ड कंसीडर करेगा, अपॉइंट कर देगा. अप्रूव्ड बाय बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर, रेक्टिफाइड इज अप्रूव्ड, सब्सिक्वेंटली अप्रूव्ड बाय शेयर होल्डर्स. ऑडिट कमिटी नहीं है तो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स अपना ही रिकमेंडेशन दे देंगे और अपना ही रेम्यूनरेशन बता देंगे. 148 सबसेक्शन 4 क्या कहता है? कॉस्ट ऑडिट इज इन एडिशन टू ऑडिट कंडक्टेड अंडर सेक्शन 143. सिंपल है. 148 subsection 5 क्या बोलता है? All the qualification, disqualification, rights, duties, obligation of cost auditor are same as the company auditor. तो जो आपने section 141 में eligibility वगैरह सब पढ़ा, सब कुछ same है. And it is the duty of the company to give all assistance facility to the cost auditor. Simple है. Very very important. Section 148 subsection 5 क्या बोलता है? Report of cost accountant shall be submitted to the board of directors. Chapter number 11 में you are going to study that the the report of statutory auditor is submitted to the members. It is addressed to the members. पर यहाँ किसको जाता है ये cost accountant का report? To the board of directors of the company. ठीक है. So अभी I'll do one thing. I'll just have a look at the queries, side by side queries को finish करेंगे. Then we'll be left with only this page, I think. Just a minute. Himanshu, your doubt is not clear. Please reframe it. So Diksha, cost auditor is appointed for every financial year. ठीक है. So 1 year. Himanshu, please reframe your query. Diksha, is your doubt clear? ठीक है. So very very important है ना. MCQ true false easily बन सकता है. Now rule 6 क्या कहता है? That now this is basically about who is going to submit the report to central government. यहाँ पर तो हमने क्या पढ़ा कि cost auditor is going to submit the report to board of directors. ठीक है. Now rule 6 क्या बोलता है? The cost auditor, he is going to submit the report to board of directors along with reservation, qualification and observation. ये तो हमने पढ़ा CARO में भी ना कि अगर कोई reservation, qualification, observation है, मतलब अगर कोई reservation का क्या मतलब है कि कोई point है वो ठीक से नहीं this is in negative है ना, कोई qualification है और कोई observation है. And what is the format? CRA3. The cost auditor will submit the report to board of directors along with the reservation in CRA3 within 180 days from the closure of financial year. The board of directors will examine such report and the board of directors will examine such reservation, qualification, observation. सिर्फ drawer में रखने के लिए थोड़ी ना report दिया. तो यहाँ पर और यहाँ पर ना same words आएंगे. I have not mentioned it. So board of directors report को भी consider करेंगे and उस qualification reservation observations को भी consider करेंगे. ठीक है. Section 148 subsection 6 क्या बोलता है? अब company, अब board of directors के पास report आ गई. They have considered all the reservation, qualification, reservation. Now the company shall within 30 days from the receipt of such report furnish to central government along with full explanation on every such reservation, explanation, qualification and observation. A report to central government, and what will be the format? CRA4 along with the requisite fees. And where is it given? Rule 6 mein, and a format is also given. XBRL, extensible business, just a minute. Extensible business reporting language. ठीक है. So basically हमने क्या पढ़ा यहाँ पर? Cost auditor will submit the report plus all the reservations, qualifications, जो भी problems हैं, किसको? To the board of directors within 180 days from closure of financial year. अब जब बोर्ड के पास रिपोर्ट आ गई, वो एग्जामिन करेंगे रिपोर्ट को भी, सारे रिजर्वेशंस को भी. Then the company shall forward it to central government within 30 days of the receipt along with all the explanations to such reservations in form CRA4, XBRL format and the requisite fees. ठीक है। 148 सबसेक्शन 7 क्या बोलता है? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में कॉल फॉर सच इंफॉर्मेशन एज इज रिक्वायर्ड. The central government will go through that report. It will call for such information from the company as it may require. Section 148 subsection 8 क्या बोलता है? अगर these are the penal provisions contained in section 147 which are very simple. Consider this as your homework, है ना? But I am telling you, try जिसके पास भी those who are having the hard copies which are older versions, refer to the soft copy on your BAS knowledge portal. ठीक है? Now duty to report fraud. You have seen that section 143 subsection 12 में क्या है? All the related rules relating to 143 subsection 12, this shall apply mutatis mutandis to the cost auditor. ठीक है? So this with this we have finished what? Section 148, which is cost audit, है ना? Let me just have a look at your queries and then I'll definitely summarize it for all of you. So students, please tell me whether you have understood the chapters that we have discussed. I have tried my level best to simplify each and every page, each and every word that is given in your module, है ना? So whether you have understood or not, and in case of any query which will be left unanswered, you have the number of CA Rajesh Deva sir. You can always forward your queries to him, and you can ask him to like I'll resolve those queries of yours if you just give your email ID to him. Yeah. So Himanshu, with respect to the applicability of cost audit, जो कि आपका रूल नंबर 4 में दिया हुआ है ना? आप इसी की बात कर रहे हो ना? तो ओवरऑल टर्नओवर में तो ऑल द प्रोडक्ट्स विल कम 50 CR एंड स्पेसिफाइड गुड्स का इफ इट इज मोर देन इक्वल टू 25 CR. एंड अनरेगुलेटेड में यही लिमिट्स क्या हो जाती है? 100 CR एंड 35 CR. ठीक है? So let us just quickly see as to what is given in cost audit. Himanshu, is your doubt clear? Mutatis mutandis, Sudhanshu, it means it will apply to the cost auditor in the same way as it is applying to the statutory auditor under section 143 subsection 11. So it's a legal, like it's a language that is, what should I say? Mutatis mutandis, like we say pari passu, in the same way, है ना? ठीक है? सो एक बारी क्विकली देखते हैं सेक्शन 148. सो कॉस्ट ऑडिट से रिलेटेड है. सो सेक्शन 148 सबसेक्शन 1 क्या बोलता है? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में प्रिस्क्राइब सच क्लास ऑफ कंपनी व्हिच आर प्रिस्क्राइब्ड इन रूल 3 टू मेंटेन रिकॉर्ड्स इन सच मैनर व्हिच इज प्रिस्क्राइब्ड इन रूल 5. रूल 3 क्या बोलता है? इफ द ओवरऑल टर्नओवर from all of its products is more than equal to 35 CR in the immediately preceding financial year, तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स तो मेंटेन करने पड़ेंगे. फॉरेन कंपनी आएगा और इसमें कौन कौन से कंपनीज हैं? कंपनीज विच आर एंगेज इन प्रोडक्शन ऑफ गुड्स और प्रोवाइडिंग ऑफ सर्विसेज. ठीक है? पर माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल एंटरप्राइजेस एज पर MSME डेवलपमेंट एक्ट को एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. रेगुलेटेड नॉन रेगुलेटेड का एक बाइफिकेशन दिया हुआ है रूल 3. ठीक है? रूल 5 क्या बोलता है? CRA 1 में रेगुलर बेसिस पे एवरी कंपनी इंक्लूडिंग इट्स यूनिट्स एंड ब्रांचेस हैव टू मेंटेन फॉर ईच फाइनेंशियल ईयर व्हिच विल फैसिलिटेट द पर यूनिट कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन का कैलकुलेशन, कॉस्ट ऑफ ऑपरेशन, एंड इट कैन बी मंथली, क्वार्टरली, हाफ ईयरली और ईयरली. 148 सबसेक्शन 2 क्या बोलता है? दैट आउट ऑफ द कंपनीज जो 148 सबसेक्शन 1 में थी, अब इनमें से किसको कॉस्ट ऑडिट करवाना है वो CG बताएगा बेस्ड ऑन नेटवर्थ एंड टर्नओवर का क्राइटेरिया. And what is that rule 4, which says that if the overall annual turnover is what more than equal to 50 CR, yeah, and the turnover of specified goods is more than equal to 25 CR. See, let me just take you through the, just a minute. So this I have given to you as a homework. Okay. Just give me another 5 minutes, है ना? So cost audit depends upon the turnover. So इसको ना ये यहाँ से net worth हटा दो, turnover. ठीक है? टर्नओवर ऑफ द कंपनी, ठीक है। सो रेगुलेटेड सेक्टर के लिए क्या है एंड अनरेगुलेटेड सेक्टर के लिए व्हाट इज द, अच्छा हुज डाउट वाज इट, भूमिका आप यहाँ ये जो रूल 3 लिखा है इसके लिए कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो आई थिंक। तो यहाँ इट सिंपली सेज दैट जो स्पेसिफाइड गुड्स हैं जिस बिकॉज ऑफ विच कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स आर रिक्वायर्ड टू बी मेंटेन, तो स्पेसिफाइड गुड since the company is manufacturing one of the specified goods which is mentioned in rule 3, so that is why cost records का requirement आ रहा है ना। तो ये rule 3 यहाँ पे इसी के लिए mention है, यहाँ पे 35 CR का limit is not mentioned, ठीक है। तो रूल 4 क्या कहता है, रेगुलेटेड के लिए ओवरऑल टर्नओवर एनुअल टर्नओवर इज मोर देन इक्वल टू 50 CR एंड टर्नओवर स्पेसिफाइड गुड, स्पेसिफाइड गुड इन रूल 3, रूल 3 में तो रेगुलेटेड और अनरेगुलेटेड बताया इज व्हाट मोर देन इक्वल टू 25 CR एंड यहाँ पे 135 CR, ठीक है। एक्सेप्शन रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम एक्सपोर्ट्स मोर देन इक्वल टू 75% ऑफ टोटल रेवेन्यू ऑपरेटिंग इन सेल्स या जनरेशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फॉर कैप्टिव कंजम्पशन। सबसेक्शन 3 क्या बोलता है, कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट होगा, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर अपॉइंट करेगा, रेम्यूनरेशन रूल 14 के अकॉर्डिंग जाएगा जो कि मेंबर्स डिसाइड करेंगे। सेक्शन 139 वाला ऑडिटर कैन नॉट बी द कॉस्ट ऑडिटर एंड कॉस्ट ऑडिटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को कंप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, इशूड बाय कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया। रूल 6 क्या बोलता है, अपॉइंटमेंट विल बी विद इन 180 डेज ऑफ कमेंसमेंट ऑफ एवरी फाइनेंशियल ईयर, बिफोर अपॉइंटमेंट रिटन कंसेंट सर्टिफिकेट, दिस इज सेम दैट वी हैव डन इन section when we were doing what, section 139 subsection 1 है ना। और यहाँ इन्फॉर्म करना है कॉस्ट ऑडिटर को ऑफ इट्स अपॉइंटमेंट एंड नोटिस इज टू बी फाइल्ड विद सीजी विद इन 30 days of board meeting in which appointment is made or within a period of 180 days of commencement of financial year whichever is earlier through electronic mode CRA2 along with the fees, and he shall hold office till expiry of 180 days from closure of financial year or till he submits the cost audit report. रिमूवल हो सकता है, बोर्ड रेजोल्यूशन रीजंस रिकॉर्ड करने हैं, रीजनेबल अपॉर्चुनिटी देने हैं। अब जो न्यू कॉस्ट ऑडिटर आया उसके लिए तो CRA2 फाइल करना है सीजी से इन ऑर्डर टू इन्फॉर्म हिम अलोंग विद द इनक्लोजिंग द रेलेवेंट बोर्ड रेजोल्यूशन। रिजाइन कर सकता है, कैजुअल वैकेंसी है तो अगेन 30 days में बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर सीजी को इन्फॉर्म करना है CRA2 में। रूल 14 अब आपको पता है, 148 सबसेक्शन 4 क्या बोलता है कि दिस इज एन एडिशन टू 143 वाला स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट। 148 सबसेक्शन 5 2-3 बातें बोलता है, क्वालिफिकेशन डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन सब सेम है। ड्यूटी ऑफ द कंपनी इज टू गिव असिस्टेंट फैसिलिटी टू कॉस्ट ऑडिटर, रिपोर्ट जो है दैट विल बी सबमिटेड टू बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स अब as in such manner prescribed which is given in rule 6 which says that cost auditor board of directors को report देंगे along with reservation qualification in CRA3 within 180 days from closure of year. Board of director examine करेंगे within and the company shall within 30 days from receipt along with the full explanation of all those reservation CRA4 में central government के साथ file करेंगे PRA language and the fees. CG may call for such other information as is required. 148 subsection 12 relating to fraud will apply to cost auditor in the same manner as it same exactly the same mechanism on the same lines the cost auditor. ठीक है, so with this we have covered section 148. 147 I am telling you a very simple section, you can go through it as a homework and go through it from the soft copies which is available on your BAS knowledge portal, ठीक है। So students, last so as I told you that this is my last session with all of you for this batch. Now I want to meet all of you in the next session whereby you are coming just to send me a reply that ma'am we have passed with so and so flying colors in auditing and assurance subject. My best wishes are with you. I have tried my level best to simplify, to make the lectures interactive with you so that you are able to understand, you are able to remember whatever we have done. Just last 2-3 minutes. So many of you asked me, ma'am, how have you obtained ranks in your foundation and final? So students, my answer is just consider your modules as the base. Just follow these sessions and the tips that are shared with you with all the faculties with CA Rajesh Deva sir. Just implement those. If you're clear, and learning will be required. Cramming is something which I am not recommending. I'm saying understand and then make summaries. I had a policy of summarizing the concepts, है ना? Keywords को pick करो, keywords लिखोगे exam में, then only you are going to fetch good marks. And such में marks will follow you, provided you become a hard worker. तो बनना ही पड़ेगा, smart learner also. Pick up the keywords, highlight them, make summaries. Chapter number 9, 10 ये आपको lengthy लगेंगे, 3 which I have taken. But these are very scoring, बहुत easy हैं, and a major chunk of the question paper comes from these chapters, है ना? Try writing 2 or 3 questions, है ना, weekly basis पे, that this is the way I'll write. And there is no rocket science as to what to write. Otherwise, you will get certain sessions whereby CA Rajesh Sachdeva sir will be telling you as to how to, prepare yourself for the exam. That do attend those sessions that are going to help you. Simply follow the modules. For all those who ask me, ma'am, whether pronouncements are to be books are to be read, see, that is the extra knowledge. If you want, you can take that. But for your examination, first of all, go through your module. Everything is going to maximum, like I can say, 95 marks, 96 marks paper, or in fact 100 mark paper. Sometimes 3-4 mark paper might come, which is not given. For example, audit of item of financial statement, you may get a question which is not given in a module, है ना? But maximum of the times, almost all of the paper comes from module. Now, if you leave any of the topic in a module, then that is not correct on your part. Then how can you expect a rank or an exemption in an audit exam? Go through the module once, twice. Prepare the backup of your definitions. And sir was saying very true that at the end of 30 days, you will have a backup of so many definitions, so many question answers, and your confidence level will be so high. Okay, students, so wishing you all the very best. And my best wishes are with all of you, that you all are going to pass your auditing and assurance, and in fact, your all the subjects with flying colors. Okay? But yes, you will have to study hard, you will have to study smart, and you will have to study from today itself. है ना? ये मत सोचना कि बहुत टाइम है, बहुत टाइम नहीं है. You will have to study hard. ठीक है? So with this, on a very positive note, I'll end this session and hope to see you in the next session, only for the purpose whereby you will be coming in those sessions to tell me that you have passed your auditing and insurance subject and other subjects with flying colors. Okay? So wish you all the best. Thank you for being patient listener. Do go through the modules, consider it as your base. Okay? So thanks a lot. And in case any queries left, you can always tell sir. You can always ask him those queries, and if that are to be forwarded to me, I'll definitely send the answers to you by whatever way it will be possible. Okay? So thanks a lot, and all the very best for your for your finals. Thank you so much, student.